usually Bane stands like from really far away and gets the ult off, and you can't really stop him.
Yeah.
But with OD, you just ult or Astral your teammate, right? So it's pretty good there.
They end up banning the Bad Rider, though. Does it tell us anything?
I mean, it just means that you want not the strongest laner against it, because Bad just denies so many safe laners. You just lose the lane.
Indeed.
Yeah, because usually, you know, you see something like a Juggernaut picked up or like a Lifesteal. Lifesteal has been banned out because trying to deal with all that sticky napalm. And then, of course, you know, having that lasso for the black hole. You've got two solutions then if PSG.LGD gets it with Team Grip and lasso. So.
Do you think that they're worried at all that PSG.LGD is still going to go for the Venge? I know that in the past it was Xnova playing it, and you know we already have him on the Bane. But we have seen also from the Chinese scene that Venge is played very flexible.
Hell yeah.
The double doom.
The double doom.
Double doom. It seems like...
Did I say it too? The double doom!
There you go. We've seen Grimstroke a lot, not too much recently, because it has not had a lot of success. It's got plenty of nerfs now, so it's not too strong anymore, but Double Doom is like super powerful, and if the Doom just gets a dagger, you always get that off. It's like you're just gonna win the fight. And, you know, Doom against LGD, we talked about it yesterday a little bit. You just Doom FY, right? And he's dealt with. You can't do his shenanigans.
Yeah, as we saw the aura reader say, FY, he's happiest and best when he does all the things at the same time. Loads of action making on the map, and we've highlighted him time and time again as the most important player on his team. So if you shut down FY, that's a good first step in shutting down the entirety of PSG.LGD.
Oh yeah, put that leash on him. We've talked so much about Grimstroke. I told you.
No.
I said there'd be nerfs.
Okay, I thought you said you were going to go for a Virtus.
Well, of course not, Moxxi. Too predictable. Now, the Grimstroke, I really like this pick in this game, not only for the pain clear, but we saw Grimstroke with some nice success yesterday. And the hero can be really good if you're going in for those big space creation early game hit-em-up drafts. So I'm very hyped to see this bad boy. Ursula, he complicates stuff a little bit.
It's a really good hero here for the laning stage for sure. Like Doom will struggle here heavily, and we see that VP's lineup right now, they're really like high cooldown, so if they ever use the Doom and something like that, you can just sneak the Roshan with Ursa, right? So you have this fast lineup right now. You can abuse the cooldowns on VP.
Well, there's now also a troll, so you can take Roshan for VP as well. They can at least contest that, or maybe try to sneak it in before PSG.LGD does.
I want to go back to the Grimstroke pick just for a minute, because we talked about the double doom, but it's really important that the Grimstroke is able to get off the Soulbind first. And he's going to have to fight his way through a lot of stuff now, which is going to make things pretty difficult in his positioning. He needs to be careful he doesn't get blown up immediately.
Sorry.
I know you're very excited.
No, you're absolutely right, Moxxi. Big question on VP's draft is like, who's the guy who's going in first, right? I mean, Enigma, of course, you want him to get that 5-man black hole, but Doom, now he kind of has to wait for Grimstroke to do his ult first before he gets the Doom off. Troll Warlords wait in the back for someone else to get it on first. I mean, they've got a little bit of some who's on first problems on VP, but I am so pumped for Enigma. Let's go. All this damage coming out here, pushing with that mobility, pushing with that aggression. There's nothing better than that little kid.
All right, so let's talk mid matchup. We got No One versus XM coming out here, and I'm thinking those are going to be the last two picks as well. In the case of No One, we have seen him play Viper a couple times, but it's not really his forte. You know, it's not really his type of hero. But would it fit here, Bulldog? Is that still a hero that's on the table for either team, maybe even?
Yeah, I think it would be fine for sure. Like you have the Troll as a main carry, and you have Doom Enigma who scales like super well, so you can do that. No one likes to play more like carry heroes where he ends up, you know, winning them the game, but in this particular game, it's fine. I'm gonna play against a Pug now, which is, you know, XM has played a lot, right? I think. And it's just a super well-rounded hero. That hero generally doesn't lose any lane, so he should be doing fine there.
Yeah, that's why we see him banned out, I guess, now as well.
Yeah, and it's just super good against Troll as well, late game. Just they can provide a Troll, and you have to go BKB on that hero, and a lot of times you just want to go Sentry Yasha for the movement speed and stage resistance and just go ham and killing everyone. Right. But you just have to go BKB now.
The Ember ban. Now waiting for that XM pick. Remember, we saw an ancient operation mid last, so we could have a curveball being thrown into the mix.
Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Hacks?
Nobody saw nothing.
Is that cheats?
And we also still have the Death Prophet in the pool. Another one that PSG.LGD have picked a lot on.
Yes, I feel like this is right in PSG.LGD's house right here. I mean, huge aggression.
In their
warehouse. And all the boxes. Now, but let's see one of those active mids like you were talking about. I would love to see a Death Prophet on this one.
Oh, well, they have a minute to think about it. And we talked about coaches before the series. And at this time, you know, this is a time where a coach can get everything out that he wants to say, right? This is a time where even if they know what they're going to pick, he's going to be able to talk to the team about how they're going to play it, what they should worry about, what they should look out for, what item build suggestions and all that. So this is important time for the teams.
You think it's a mid coming up now? Isn't it Chalice here coming last?
I would imagine that that Chalice is going to play the Pugna, but it could be an XM Pugna. XM has played Pugna before as well.
Yep.
Super
Super fluid
sort of
draft.
thing. It keeps your draft very open if you want to change anything up, but probably thinking Pugna gonna go. What would you pick if you were in those shoes?
I'm not sure. They just like their bounty a lot, and I hate it. So hopefully, just don't pick the bounty offlane right now, and we're good. It's a fatty hero. I feel like they need to just create a lot of space. Should be fine.
They have a 50-50 record with Bounty Hunter so far, but against VG Gaming, of course, yesterday 2 losses in a row with the Chalice Bounty Hunter.
They've given up on it. Don't pick it.
Radiant team pick.
It will be a Spectre.
Spectre?
So that means an offlane Ursa. Chalice has also played Ursa before. Chalice is very versatile, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spectre.
Spectre? Seen it to mediocre success. Sometimes he just gets overrun.
But at the same time, can be aggressive though, Bulldog.
Well, it can be if you have the ultimate, of course. Very aggressive ultimate. But the laning stage feels a lot weaker now. And Doom shouldn't struggle too much against Spectre. And you're picking this against VP, you know, one of the most known aggressive teams. That's a little scary. It's a little spooky.
It's a scrappy team though coming out from PSG.LGD. Yeah, you have the Haunt, which is on high cooldown, but
Choose your hero.
oh boy.
There's that Ramsey's Morphling.
Oh, Lord. Ramsey's more.
No, it's no one.
It's no one's Morphling.
No one's Morphling.
More? Oh, okay. No problem then.
There's that no one Morphling. No, they won with that as well. The last time we saw no one play Morphus was when Ramsey was playing the Brewmaster. They shifted it all around at that point. All right, I am going to need to know from you guys who you think is going to take the first game of the series.
I feel like I want to go with VP. You know, they have the Doom, that's strong, and no one... Morphling, very powerful. And if you just go the dagger on Doom, I really hope he does, so that you can just keep going aggressive with that, and Grimstroke, just double Doom someone, and you're just going to win every fight with that. And yeah, Spectre, I feel it's too slow.
Fair enough, Moxxi.
I'm gonna go PSG.LGD because it's, you know, it's a scrappy lineup again. Haunt's got a high cooldown, but we've seen what FY can do with that Pangolier, and I feel like as long as they're active, they make space for Ame. Gonna look pretty good for them.
I think they got enough ways to deal with Spectre on this one. A huge amount of burst, can run at her early game, and more fun, no one. I hope he can make me a believer. So I'll go on that one for VP.
I'm thinking the draft is pretty even, but I will give the edge of the series to Virtus.Pro, and therefore for game number 1, I'll believe in the VP boys. All right, let's find out what's going to happen. But of course, during this game, make sure that you vote for your MVP of the game once the game started, which is right about now. You can start putting those hashtag player names into the chat. So make sure you do that. Here's how you write everything. You know the drill. All right, it is time. Game number 1 is upon us, and who better to commentate it than ODpexil and Fogged?
Thank you very much, Sheever. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Stockholm. Virtus.Pro up against LGD. What a best of 3 series to start today off with. And Fogged, we're seeing a lot of great stuff from both sides. We've got a lot of Grimstroke combos coming out on one half, and then bam, this last final pick of the Spectre, as we see LGD trying to at least have this late game carry that they can try and draw the game out with. But at the same time, VP, they respond with a Morphling.
Yeah, I was imagining that they would pick this, some type of late game, this PA, the Spectre, someone who's just like ultra, we're going to win the late game, because they have Space Makers. They have Ursa, they have Pugna. These are early game heroes they want to put the pressure on. The Pugna gives them that tower push too, so they can rally around that, while Ame just gets that farm going for for them. But yeah, VP, they also have that. I think that's why we saw LGD, they banned out the Ember Spirit as that last one, because you look at their disables, it can be a bit limited. It's really relying on the Bane setting up, and then once Pango has ultis, that's their only real stuns between the two of them. So this Morphling could definitely have the opportunity to go ham if he doesn't get kind of run over here. So we're looking here at Pasha's items. This has become kind of a tradition, a staple now. When you have Enigma, we see that Ring of Regen being given so that he can have a better time in that laning phase. And he should have a good time too, like the panel was saying. Especially Spectre. He's going to have Enigma denying the lane back for him, and he's going to be able to get a lot on this Doom, which I think is exactly what VP needs to have the success to be able to just get those double Dooms off constantly, like Bulldog was talking about.
And considering that's how the top lane is going to go, looking at the bottom lane, is that going to be there for a lane where you could see LGD doing a very good job of pressuring the Troll, or do you think this Troll's going to be just okay farming against these two?
I think he might struggle a little bit, but I've said that a couple of times about these Trolls, and they end up just having fine. Like, they just have free farm because this hero is just so strong in the laning phase. He's like the Troll and your Razor, they seem to just not really lose lanes that they're in anymore. So we have other combo that we got to see at the minor. We were mentioning it, of course, before the game started, is we see the Bane plus the Pango. So the combo that we got to see, at least at the minor, was the Enfeeble plus Lucky Shot. So Enfeeble, your status resistance, of course, gets affected, and the Lucky Shot lasts an eternity, which it already does. Which makes it that much stronger on top of the combo.
See VP have a bit of a poke at PSG.LGD at this bottom rune, being unable to push them away before the runes picked up.
Yep.
As that will actually be, by the looks of it, 3 runes to start the game off with for PSG.LGD. Able to take hold of the top one as well, as it looks like VP just weren't able to make the invasion themselves. With FY standing guard and FY, of course, his Pangolier, we can expect some incredible stuff from him. We've seen it earlier this tournament, and he just takes over the game. You can see FY transitioning into being another 3. So for instance, you say with VP, with this lane setup, you know that Roger and Pasha, they're both going to have a really good time in terms of finding creeps, finding areas of the jungle to farm. FY, he's going to find action on the map to keep him on the same level.
Yeah. He's going to try to get rid of these Eidolons. Every time he has a swashbuckle up, we saw him walking deep aggressively. He places the ward to, I believe, block that hard camp to make sure that the Enigma can't back up and always farm it.
Yeah, and this mid lane matchup, Noah Morph up against the XM Pugna. This sort of hero versus hero, is it expected to go one way or another? We've seen Noah mid on the Morph earlier this tournament. Again, he played the lane very well. Is it going to be tricky against the Pugna, or should he be fine?
He's just going to have to ferry out a lot of regen. That's the thing. You might see him be relatively even. He might fall behind a tiny bit in the last hits, but the thing is that Pugna can threaten kills and force so much extra regen in comparison, so he'll be spending more money on that. So the net worth should lead the Pugna for the majority, even if the CS says otherwise.
And sort of FY is the Pango. Do you think we could look to see him trying to sneak in a gank in mid? Obviously, it's going to depend on RNG. He's going to sort of hope for lucky shot procs to have a chance of setting up for XM to get the damage down. But there is the chance that could happen, right?
I think later he'll do. I don't think the first 5 minutes is really going to be.
It's just not worth it.
He has to secure Spectre. Like, otherwise, Spectre's alone versus a Doom and Enigma, and he's just going to get bullied. And they need that hero to get farmed. They need Ame to have a good time up here, especially in the start, because then they can move. Once he has his levels, then you just get the hell out of there, and then Spectre plays his own game while everybody else runs around and makes plays.
Down bottom on the first few waves, the farm looking to be pretty even between Ramses and Chalice. 2 against the 7 for 0. And mid lane, continues to be an even trade on these early levels between the Morph and the Pugna.
So he actually didn't block the hard camp. I thought that one actually was. It's just to watch whenever the Enigma does back up for those Eidolons, and maybe see if whenever he does get maybe low or those Eidolons get low, and he can come in and snatch it with the swashbuckle. So he's just keeping tabs on Roger, but Roger also placed a high ground ward to be able to watch him. So we're seeing this bottom lane. They're not really slowing down Ramses, as kind of expecting, the Troll. Thought they might be able to, but Troll is just that hero that always ends up having a good time. The lane's playing out as expected. In mid, you see last hits, relatively even, but you see no one. He's ferrying out regen constantly to make sure that he can deal with that pressure.
And FY, with that mobility, he can sort of sit this area of the map. As long as he feels like Arme's still getting something out of the lane, being left alone against Pasha's Doom, he can just keep tabs and eyes on Roger's Enigma, making sure that Roger just doesn't get that free farm, isn't able to just sit there and AFK in the neutral camps.
Yep. XM just constantly threatening no one under the tower there. So last hits, as we were saying, same for the Morphling versus the Pugna, but if you look at the net worth, actually he's starting to lose a little bit of it there, just having to bring that regen. Roger will be able to jungle here, but the pull is open for LGD, so now finally FY will be able to jungle a little bit there and get himself some farming levels on that pin.
And so with Chalice's Ursa, obviously the plan I imagine going to be you're looking to this hero to make space, make time, and for the Spectre to farm up. Is it a very easy game though for the Ursa to look for people to jump on? Because I feel like VP, they've got a lot of responses if this Ursa starts to get in the face of some of these heroes.
I think he's their frontliner. He's kind of like their distraction. It's like he doesn't want them to go on the Pugna, so he's just going to make space for his teammates and just run in. And I feel like it's just like what Bulldog was talking about. This Ursa pick is pretty much, you guys have Enigma Doom. If you use these cooldowns, we're getting Brosh. You will not be able to contest it easily at all. So that fast pace for LGD to be able to set as we get the power rune coming out. It's an Invis actually bottom. So we'll be able to be claimed by the Grimstroke.
Why again? Just trying to use the swashbuckle. It's not enough damage to kill off the Eidolon straight up. We have to find one of them, and he's just going to stand there and beat down the Eidolons of Roger. We'll deny the second one away from him. And Solo with that Invis rune. We'll see if he can catch out any of the two of them down bottom. X-Nova's a little low as Ramses is trying to bait him forward. We'll see Solo get the chase down. The stun is going to connect him with the slow from the Axes. That'll be first blood. The Invis rune doing the work there for VP, catching X-Nova off guard as he was not ready for that one. Hanging around on 2 low HP, did not expect Solo to be there in the shadows.
And we had, like, if we look at these last hits and everything, the lanes are actually dead even across the board. If anything, Enigma maybe has a little bit of extra those denies, giving it a more experience advantage to the side of VP. But yeah, great Invis rune, perfect usage there by Solo. So bounty runes coming out. We see 3 heroes from LGD going bottom to secure that one. It has Pasha. He's got the Centaur Stomp. Saves it. He's able to get to the bounty rune anyway without it.
He's able to stun them and walk off. Running into too many issues. FY got him with another swashbuckle, but alone. Of course, not nearly enough damage to deal with Pasha as he walks around.
3
Tango
procs.
popping, 15.8 HP regen.
Yeah.
And VP, I mean, 5 minutes in, having this very slight lead of a 1k advantage, it's got to feel good, right? Because you are running this Doom and Enigma. It's slightly greedy, but you're staying ahead. You're getting the farm. It's 5.5 minutes in. PSG.LGD is still yet to get a kill, so they're not really be able to punish the fact that the VP are running sort of these, almost certainly sort of 2 position 3 heroes that they're going to turn out to be. Yeah, this sort of start.
And even like the Morphling is a bit of a greedy hero too. He's in the mid lane, so it makes it less greedy because of that. Him able to get all those lessons. No one's doing great in this matchup. He's actually pulling ahead now, and because of the way you always work with your morph, he's actually not having to spend that much gold on regen. I thought it would be a little bit more, but yeah, morphs down to like 1 HP and then uses like a tango and he's back up. Always sitting at those 10 stick charges. And now we also see, I believe that was also the pooling onto the Doom. So now he has the Ring of Regen and the Ring of Health on top from his Enigma buddy. So much extra regen for this man.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really beat him out of lane, even with FY being there as well. Swashbuckle's not going to do enough at all at this point of the game, so Pasha can just sit there in the lane, be this sort of constant pressure on towards that top tier tower, shoving the lane in each and every time. That means that PSG.LGD's, their supports like FY, they can no longer really afford to go over and try and disrupt Roger inside of the jungle. They've got bigger issues in the lanes now.
Yeah. It's so interesting that we've gone back. I want to say gone back to, but this used to be actually a Dota 1 thing that people would share on. You see Sobi's mask, he's called Sage's mask now, but people used to share Sage's mask in laning phase, share Ring of Health, share Ring of Regens. We've gone like full circle.
XM, of course, able to do what a Pugna does, is getting that early pressure onto the tower, shoving the wave in, has already managed to take down that tier 1 to half HP, and in fact, bottom lane, Ramses, again, getting the kill on Chalice. We'll see FY trying going on the mid lane, but no one is able to turn into the Pugna, trying to trade back. The life trade is just not doing enough to kill no one at all, as he's able to back off. Does get Silence, though, in the wrong form, but whoa! Silence ends just in time. No one will be able to change back, as he does not die to the 3-man attempt there from PSG.LGD.
It's so scary how that RNG can play a big factor there. If he does get the initial swashbuckle silence, that might just be an instant kill on the Morphling. They're guaranteeing this tower, though, for the side of LGD. They're bringing FY from the backlines again. Gonna give some pokes to no one. But VP, they're doing very well on their other lanes. It's a 2k gold advantage. Even though this tower goes down, now it's a 1k. But now this Pugna, XM, he needs to make the moves down. Probably head down bottom immediately. Put the pressure onto the Troll Warlord so that he can't actually just, bully out the Ursa as he has been and take that tier 1.
Yeah, they have to somehow shut down the map from VP, because VP are just getting so much out of this early game.
They really are. This Doom getting full free farm in this game is such a big problem for the side of LGD, because he's just going to be able to train, run in, and he will pretty much guarantee get those Dooms or double Dooms off, which will change everything.
And up top, these early sort of pushes. Arme and X-Nova, what can they do to keep these creeps away? FY is there with the wraparound. But it's so hard to really go in on this Doom with the ult ready to pop. You have to be careful how you approach Pasha, as they'll have no trouble trying to turn with those two heroes.
Yep.
Pasha, again, goes in. X-Nova will reveal himself. Drop his dagger out. They do get the swashbuckle disarm. The Scorched Earth is out, and Pasha, he's in no trouble whatsoever.
Like we mentioned, I mean, LGD, they have no stuns. They have like no real lockdown until they get those level 6s online for the Pango and the Bane. It's very limited catch for them, especially because Chalice has also been having some trouble down bottom. He's actually has even net worth as a Doom, which is pretty impressive, but he can't actually put pressure onto Ramsey's troll at all.
Not at all, especially with Ramsey's doing something we don't always see, you know, rather than saving it for the Demon Edge, he'll get the Void Stone first, so he has that mana regen, so he can continue to just spam the axes and make sure that Chalice has trouble farming against him at range.
Yeah, it's definitely a cool approach. And we've actually seen the Battle Fury troll struggle quite a bit here, but he's in this game, he's probably like, I'm playing versus Spectre, we're doing good in the early laning phase, I want to be able to scale. So in this one, it does look like that Battle Fury will be okay, because we've seen people blow Battle Fury and the game ends before they get the second item. We saw it happen yesterday.
Roger, he knows he can TP out. I mean, as you say, there's a lack of lockdown. The only thing would have been a nightmare, and that's not skilled yet, of course. So nothing that stops that sort of move from VP. They can just slide around the lanes with the TPs. PSG.LGD's going to struggle to pressure that sort of play.
It's just going to be a bit of a passive game coming out for PSG.LGD. It's pretty much just going to be the Pugna running around until they've got FY6, which they're giving him the mid lane. He's 5, and they do have the Tome available. He's already queued it up immediately.
We'll see the contest for the 10-minute runes. As FY actually getting clapped in by the Hellbent Smasher. Solo's going to be in with the silence, and FY tried to head down for the runes. Going to pay with his life. VP quick to react. As a third kill is picked up, and at 10 minutes, this 3k lead, it's looking very scary for PSG.LGD's lineup. They went greedy with the Spectre. VP, though, they almost went even more greedy, but they're getting away with it. They're ahead at this point of the game, and they're taking towers.
Yeah, and no one, the thing is, the Morphling is you have so many opportunities to just turn into other heroes. Here we saw him going into the Pango, but he can turn into Pugna a lot of times, and then he just has the double blast always. Or the blast to be able to go for the towers, that is.
Lots of sort of cute plays he can perform as well, especially having the Grimstroke. You know, you look at sort of the fact that down the line he's going to have that double nuke from the double adaptive strike. He can set that up with a double Decrepify on top of the Soulbind if he's able to take over the Pugna.
Yeah. And even just, I mean, Nether Ward too inside of team fights. Like, if he turns in this Pugna, then there's a lot of different opportunities for him to set up his team to have an even better team fight that they already have. I mean, their team fight's already great with the Doom Enigma if they're able to get them off. Now, all 3 cores leading that network. It's 4K advantage already at 11 minutes on. Experience is also pretty much exactly the same too. 4K experience advantage at 11 minutes is very high.
I mean, I think, well, if you're PSG.LGD, sure, you're running a Spectre, you imagine on the top lane, you might not have sort of a smooth sailing from the start, but I can't imagine that they expected the other 2 lanes to sort of end with them being behind as they are.
Yeah, definitely agree. I mean, Ame's gone for Soul Ring on Spectre. So he's looking at their lineup and who's their D-push really to set up. It's like if they have the Pango set up for Swashbuckles for D-push, sure. Pugna doesn't really want to be there, so he's using daggers as best he can.
But we'll see FY get a very nice angle on the mid onto Roger, and that will set up for the kill. FY getting the easy roll in with the Thunder as Roger is caught out. There's not really a lot of saving potential from VP's heroes.
It is 2 ults though. That is the Spectre ult as well as that Pango ult. So right now, I mean, VP's probably like, okay, we can go to pressure some towers here.
And all whilst this is happening, he's just about got the money for the Demon Edge. This Battle Fury is going to be pre-15 minutes at this rate. This is going to be a very, very speedy timing. As Doom will be back and available again in 10 seconds.
Yep, they've got Doom ult, they've got Enigma ult. We see Rogers already coming up here to try to pressure the tower again, because like we were mentioning, the deep push on LGD is pretty limited, so here they are pressuring 2 lanes here while Ramses just goes for that free farm in the jungle. Ramses is spotted though, so they do know the troll is, I mean, they know he's really not going to show up the fights anyway because of the item build that he's queued up.
So the ping did come out immediately there.
Yeah, they saw it.
So unlikely that you'll see PSG.LGD get caught out by this move, as you can see, getting straight underneath the tier 2 tower. PSG.LGD, Ame and FY will be safe for now.
As soon as
tower will not be though. The push just continuing, Pasha just getting all this space. Phase drums and a tower on top of it. They do get the trade down bottom. XM is able to find the bottom tier 1 away from VP.
VP's doing a good job of just keep that pressure on. You're playing versus Spectre. This is exactly how you want to be playing. You have 1 hero free farming, the other 4 pressuring on the map. CLGD, they put a couple defensive wards here to try to protect Ame, but yeah, he's literally just using Spectral Dagger and Soul Ring to get some farm right now because he's just scared to walk up to creep waves whenever the Morphling does show up. Definitely concerning. How's Chalice doing? He's almost got the Blink Dagger, so that's probably the big thing that LGD is waiting for, is when they have Blink, they can really make moves. But right now,
they're going to try for top. Look at the Nightmare setup. Buy time for Chalice to come in. XM's there as well. That's around Pasha. Pasha goes for the TP out. He's going to make it away. They've got nothing to hold him back. And the Decrep, did he mean to use Decrep? I mean, I guess he meant to use it. He did, but it meant that they couldn't keep hitting him.
Yeah.
That's
bit of anti-synergy.
Oh, I've done that. You can't do that. Your team's going to get pretty mad at you.
They've got X-Nova now with level 6, finally, so now they have an actual disable that works properly besides Rolling Thunder. Because, yeah, like we said, I mean, if we're recognizing it, VP's like, yeah, they've got no stuns, you know, we're fine whenever we want to make plays. And even Solo is now getting some farm. I mean, they're looking very comfortable right now with that 5k gold lead.
They're, yeah, very, very comfortable. I mean, to the point where, I mean, if you're PSG.LGD, what is your best way of getting back in? Well, you just have to make plays around the Ursa. You've just lost FY, though. No one getting free pickoffs on his own.
I think you have to make moves with Ursa and Pugna. You have to start just running around the map with these two heroes, and especially when you have Pango ult, you can't actually show yourself in lane. You have to pretty much go for fighting to make space for your Spectre in particular. Yeah, because Ame's just not getting as much as he'd like to. As VP, they're just looking to keep the pressure, and they've got the Battle Fury finished already on top of Treads, double Wraithband. He's so farmed.
The item timings on pretty much all of the cores of VP are ridiculous. The fact that they're getting away with this at 15 minutes in, it's looking perfect to begin the game. They'll look towards mid. They will get Ramses here, as Ramses not wanting to use the ult, as it seemed there wasn't any help there anyway, so would have almost certainly died nonetheless. VP though will be able to claim 3 of the 4 bounty runes, but still getting the kill on the troll. And something that PSG.LGD have been looking for a while and hadn't been sort of able to do so because he's been sticking to the jungle. Shows in lane, PSG.LGD are quick to punish.
That's actually like the first time that he showed. He finally gets picked off as
another pick off.
Also will be.
Chalice able to find a Grimstroke walking straight into his claws. Chalice going for the Blink Dagger straight into Basher. He knows they've got to have better ways of holding down these heroes.
He's got to be, like we were talking about, he's got to be the one that just starts everything for his team right now. Pugna, sure, you can set up the push towers, but you need somebody to just go in and start everything so that FY can set up for his ulti. You have to pretty much like distract to make sure that this Grimstroke can't get this bind, because if he gets the soul bind and it attaches to the Pango is screwed.
Such an advantageous lead here for VP. 6k advantage. Troll, Ramses, other than dying in that mid lane, he's getting away with the free farm. As already the outlook looking very good for Virtus.Pro here in this game 1.
They don't want to slow down though. That's the one thing, is you're still playing versus a Spectre whose farm is not amazing, but not bad either. We see Ame, even though he went for this Tread Soul Ring build, he's at 2,700 toward that Radiance. So it's still always going to be that kind of looming threat versus Spectre.
FY has got the Javelin. Of course, we'll be looking to go back and get those Arcanes, Greaves, Maelstroms for the team.
They're playing it pretty defensive. They're actually just playing like the let VP make the mistakes, not us. They have their lanes all pushing in, so Ame's fine with this. He's going to be able to farm under the tower safely, and then they're playing with like 3 heroes kind of near him to make sure that they can't make a play on him.
Now we'll certainly see VP try to force some sort of play out of them, as 4 of them starting to gather around the mid lane. Backing up no one as he pushes in. You have Pasha with the completed hood, so this Doom pretty much is just not a target you can look towards as PSG.LGD at this moment.
No, definitely not.
He's got a full pipe now, sorry.
Yeah. Look how many sentries they've placed down, so they want to take out all the vision that LGD has and then try to make aggressive plays. Just don't slow down, as they look like they will be able to find X-Nova here. Solo has another stroke up.
I mean, do they want to dive this? They don't even need to. From range there, with the strike and the stroke, they get the pick off. Space continues to be there for Ramses, and Ame just having to spend the entirety of his life just hidden in the trees, throwing out daggers.
Look how they're just ignoring the Pugna. XM just took a bottom tower for free, and VP's like, whatever. We have other priorities. Pugna's not the issue this game, is probably what they're telling themselves.
Yeah, down the mid they go. They got the push with the Eidolons. Next up for Pasha will be that Halberd, so he's going to have the answer for Chalice. He's going to be quite a while away from it. And with the bottom lane now finally hitting up to the high ground, there'll be a reaction. Ramses comes in to try and clear the wave out. Gripfire and the drain does bring Ramses down pretty low. But he's on the high ground, and it is only XM down here. XM does have that haste rune, so Ramses will have to back up and heal up in the fountain.
He's putting a lot of pressure on the tower. He has a Dagon finished up at base, at least on the Pugna too, if he wants to commit for it. So, I mean, they do have to watch out. Ramses has to be careful because he's not going, he's going the greed, full greed. He's going Battle Fury, he's going SNY, just delaying that BKB as long as possible because it's like, you know, he's not really blocking much besides that Pugna and that Pangolier.
Unfortunately, FX over gets a ward down, but Sentry was already there in the area, so Solo with a quick D ward.
That's like their third or fourth or maybe even more D wards as we see LGD very limited map vision at the moment.
Yeah,
that bottom one.
Sort of Sentry placement for VP is just prepared for all of PSG.LGD's common ward spots.
Yeah.
As Ramses gets the setup there from his teammates to get another bit of a bonus to add to that incredible amount of money that he's amounting to with the farm. Still sitting at the top as this troll.
It's them dictating the pace, and LGD, they're just playing the farm game. They're not losing Ame, which is the most important thing, and he's pretty much has the Radiance finished.
Okay.
He's like 600 away, so...
Yeah, they're going to have the Radiance and the Bastion on Chalice very soon. So, yeah, Chalice is able to commit and do as you say, what seems to be the plan with PSG.LGD's draft. Throwing this Ursa into the front, trying to bait out a lot of the team fight spells from VP onto the Ursa. Then you come in with the Haunt and you sweep things back your way.
Yeah, or you pop Haunt at the start and then you let the Ursa identify. He's like, okay, now I see where everybody is. I know where Grimstroke is. I know where Enigma is. I can pick and choose which targets I want to go for to allow my backline to get all their spells off. But VP, they're still just continuing grouping up. They want to put the pressure, get the final tier 2s down before the Spectre Radiance is online.
And we'll see if PSG.LGD want to try and take some sort of a fight around this tier 2. So unlikely if they're winning on those big items.
Still 500 away, so probably not looking to commit forward for a fight here. Just playing very defensive here.
I want to find another one. He's going to zip straight on the high ground. He's going to get Dragonfly. That's going to be no one dead. They've lost Solo as well.
Oh my god.
Oh, VP jumping the gun a little bit there, diving past the tier 2 tower. Ramses, he knows better than that. He's out of there. But Rogers left behind as VP, you cannot do those plays in a game where there's this late game Spectre. If you're throwing away 3 heroes like that necessarily behind a tier 2, PSG.LGD, they're going to climb back into the game with ease.
He didn't even, I mean, they didn't have to use Haunt, didn't have to do anything.
Didn't have to be there.
It was just the Rolling Thunder. What, it was Morphling waveforming in, turning into Pugna and getting slept as he turns into it and getting hit by another blast at the same time.
It was a very risky play there for no one. You sort of got to question how big the payoff would have been anyway if he's able to get up there and get the vision.
They were really just trying to protect their ward so badly there that cost them so heavily now. It's a 4K advantage, but now Spectre's got Radiance finished up. They've got a couple extra items too here coming out online. Basher finished for Chalice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, game's kind of turned
if you made that play again, you're not losing 3 heroes, you're losing all 5.
Yeah, you're losing everybody. VP has to be very careful. They're probably getting a little bit like, I wouldn't say like antsy because it's troll farming, but that play right there made it seem that they're like, oh, you know, this looming threat of that Spectre is getting into their heads maybe a tiny bit. And
it's a very slow-paced game. We're 21 minutes in, it's 6 for 6. You know, maybe there's some frustration for VP. They're just running at PSG.LGD saying, come on, do something. Because at the moment, PSG.LGD, they've been keeping it very, very quiet. That's their game plan.
And they immediately throw the scan. They know that this rush is happening right now. LGD, they've got Haunt. This is dying pretty quickly though.
Very quickly.
And they actually make it in time.
I don't know, unless they pop an early Haunt. Scan's going to be there from VP. They know the PSG.LGD is on the high ground. They're going to pop the Haunt. They'll have vision on the roach. Can they get in? Chalice is going to jump across towards Solo. They're into the pit. They'll get the Aegis now. So no one's able to get the Aegis, but they did get the touch onto it. There's the Black Hole down. Holding down this Ursa and the Bane. They'll move it with the Silence, the Doom onto the 2 of them with that Grimstroke combo. VP, they'll get the 2 kills to start the fight off, and they're ready to chase for more. Onto the high ground, looking towards the Pugna. The Silence is out. Ramses is on top of him. They'll get the kill on XM as well. So as we saw there, now PSG.LGD, they were able to take the Roshan kill, but the Aegis still went the way of no one. VP still take the fight. VP, they'll be more than happy with that.
Yeah. LGD committed forward a bit far, trying to really go for that play there onto the high ground there. VP was just able to isolate this Ursa completely. The rest of LGD was not able to get into the backlines. You know, FY doesn't have a blink dagger or anything on this Pango, so he had to Rolling Thunder and roll in for like 3 seconds before he's actually able to make it into that fight. And even though that Nether Ward too, like they had it in perfect position, but VP, they already had, the rush was done. Now they've got a good way of initiating themselves now on VP. They've got this blink dagger on the Doom, and this is the key item. You know, he's got this drum, he's got this pipe, which are fantastic for his team, but now the blink with the Grimstroke is the key, because now you're going to see those double Dooms consistent.
Oh yeah, I mean, at that point, you know, if you're PSG.LGD, how do you even fight around so that double Doom threat? Is it, you have to be careful, like sort of going in 1 by 1 rather than 2 by 2, or you're only going when there's the haunt, so there's this sort of chaos, which makes it, I say, a little hard. It's still probably going to land on 2 heroes, though, if you're all moving in like that. And they don't have those instant stuns, as we said. There's not a lot of lockdown. They can just say, okay, we're going to take the Doom out of the fight, or the Grimstroke out. They're going to get their spells off. Yeah, they could maybe try to burst with like a Haunt, and then the Pugna, I think, has like a Blink and a Dagon. So I think maybe if you get the vision with the Haunt, and then you can choose to find that Grimstroke, but have to be careful. So yeah, so 9 to 7, only 5k, swinging between 5k and 6k. XM trying to scale up those Dagons. They need that burst potential. It's very hard at the moment to take drawn-out fights against 3P. We'll get a little easier with FY having the mech done. Okay. So that bit of burst heal and save, and one way to help those that do get doomed.
I mean, they do need some type of way to counteract the sustain that VP has, right? They have the pipe, they have the mech, so inside of those fights, they have quite a bit more than LGD at the moment.
I mean, yeah, you just look at this Doom and the amount of health regen that Pasha's sitting on when he's devouring. 55 HP. And with the pipe, he just seems unkillable. You can't do anything about the Doom. You can definitely do something about the Grimstroke. But the likeliness is that Pasha, he's going to doom someone at the end of the day in these fights.
I always like the Dagon build as well in Pugna when you're playing versus Morphlings. You know, Morph sits low, you just get these pickoffs, so no one does have to be a little bit of careful of that as LGD. They're set up to try to defend this tower. They have the vision on the high ground too.
They're going to jump them once. They don't get any procs with the lucky shot. One is fine, and does have backup behind him. It still has that Aegis, of course.
They've got the ward on that right side there, so they do see where Pasha is on the Doom right now. They're committing forward. They do see him.
They'll get on top of the Doom, and in fact, with him solo, they're actually going to have enough damage to take him down with the Desolate damage that ripped through him. They get 3 pixels straight away. This is the Horde fight. Getting them 3 kills. No one tries to TP out. There won't be any sort of bash, so he is able to get away, but still, this is the scary stuff for VP. Arme's online. They're taking these team fights. Horn comes in, and PSG.LGD come out on top.
You know, we talk a lot about, you know, wards winning games, or wards like winning side of team fights in particular. We see that ward on that cliff there. It spots the Doom. They recognize the target they need to go for. It's getting pinged immediately. You see VP, Pasha's like, yeah, there's a ward there. We know now.
And as we saw, you know, sort of regardless of how tanky we were saying this Doom was in terms of HP regen, if you're able to do the damage as fast as they did, HP regen doesn't matter. He's going to be dead before he's able to really reap any sort of benefit from that HP over time. There's no one next up after Man's getting that Lincoln Sphere. I think that he's got to be careful of these Dagon sort of plays. Just look how quickly he dies here.
Yeah, just focused out by everybody. He's getting hit by Desolate, he's getting hit by an Enraged Ursa, he's getting hit by the full Rolling Thunder, and they're just lucky to not have gotten... If no one gets bashed there, this whole game might just completely turned around there.
A couple of hits, but a couple of hits too few, unfortunately. For Chalice, didn't get that bash off.
Ramses looking at FY actually does a short swashbuckle. They're actually chasing forward to commit for him here, and he is looking to be in a lot of trouble.
It does have the Rolling Thunder as well. He'll get it off, but the physical damage is enough. Ramsey's able to get the axes in, get the kill.
A little bit about that first swashbuckle. He did it like pretty much melee range. Ramsey's recognized it and goes for the dive, and now they're looking to go high ground. They have a BKB troll.
They know there's no horn.
How long on that Aegis? They have only 9 seconds left on it, but they want to try to threaten at least a little bit here on that timing that they have.
Move on to the tier 3 tower. Chalice is just in. He's trying to commit for solo. Solo, is he going to go do that anymore? Roger, he has the black hole response, holding Chalice in place. Chalice is going to die for that attempt. FY's brought back. Beanscript for the low high grounds there from X-Nova, but instant doom response. X-Nova's going to tick out. FY brought back for this. Tries to jump in. This is 2 buybacks that PSG.LGD have committed for this fight. Will they actually be able to find any kills off the back of it on top of Solo? They've got the dagger out to Ramses, going forward with the swashbuckle. Decrepify's down to no one, but again, it means Chalice cannot hit the Morphling. So no one's able to wait for it to the high ground. Pasha jumps in. Adaptive strike down as well as the Infernal Blade there follows up onto Chalice. FY's going to fall. He gets rooted up, bursted down. Ramses, he's still got the BKB good to pop. He's ready to commit for Arme. Arme's still got that free pathing, gets down into the trees. As they'll continue to chase, can they get more from this? They're looking for Ramsey, but Ramses, he has the ult. He's going to start turning, beating into Arme, gets the root off. The bash is there. Decrepify used as well to make sure that Arme cannot be hit. XM and Chalice able to keep Arme alive. And PSG.LGD, they are able to find those big kills off the back of using their buybacks. They chase down, and they, they get Pasha, they get Roger, and they get that big one. They get Ramses, but it did cost them a little.
Yeah, even though that, like, the Fiend's Grip, Xnova actually got some pathing happening here. He was trying to cancel that black hole, and he kept going back and forth on the tree lines there. Wasn't able to get it in time, but yeah, these buybacks actually very beneficial for LGD. And XM in the back lines of that fight, since the Ursa, since Chalice just leads the way, Chalice casted 5 Earth Shocks in that fight, 5 overpowers, but the Pugna got 5 Nether Blasts, 2 Daggons, so many different spells off in the fight. And we did see, the decrypt those come out. That was actually the Morphling. He turned into the Pugna. He decrypted himself. So
smart.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure in every single fight, XM's making that very clear. He's like, I didn't do that.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me. It was him. As it's tripped them up once before.
It's looking, very scary now, though, for VP. This is a huge turnaround, and Ame, he is not dying in these fights. 2-0 and 7, and this distraction that's being caused by the Ursa, it's really paying off for them. They're able to get all the spells up, and this Spectre, he's getting away with murder inside of the fights. Nearing another item already here is, not nearing, but he's picked up his leases like Ring of Taris to build toward that heart. If he gets heart, they're Midnight Pulse and the Infernal Blade at least are percent-based damages, which will be nice versus that, but this Spectre is gonna run rampant because we see how much they're focusing the attention on the Grimstroke. Chalice just, he sees Solo and he's just like, that's all I need to do. Kill this Grimstroke, and then they're not gonna get these double dooms off that can be problems. And now the BKB comes out, so now he's even safe for Chalice. He can just commit fully into that backlines. He just has to worry about either Doom or Black Hole, but then he's doing his job. He's making sure that he tanks the spells. So Chalice with a very good recovery as bottom lane. He did okay, but he wasn't putting the pressure on. This is, very good display by this Ursa.
Oh, he's now on level and just ahead of Pasha's Doom.
Yeah.
We have PSG.LGD ready to smoke up. They have Ame pushing bottom, and he's more than ready to join them with the ult.
Yeah.
If they find any big catch, they'll commit immediately. They have the ward down. We'll show the movement of Pasha and Ramses, so they'll know that a few of them are top. And we'll know it's very likely that the entire team is there, though, with those two being together. So they have to be careful how they approach this.
It is good to be among you.
See if they can catch them out. As Ramsey, he's going to show in lane. As already the rest of PSG.LGD are backed up. They get the Fiend's Grip here from the shadows. And that is Ramsey's dead and gone for 80 seconds. Pushing on like that on his own. And now, also Alme able to force no one to back up as well. They've got to be careful when they go out like that. As VP, it seemed like they were going to be okay at the start of that smoke from PSG.LGD because they were all up there, but then everyone backed up and Ramsey stuck around.
Yeah, they're getting outmaneuvered at the moment now from LGD. They're able to, with that one ward that they did have, they made so much happen out of it, and now 55 seconds, no troll. Uh-oh.
This is the power of the Ursa.
And now it's going to be a Spectre who is encroaching upon that heart, and he's going to have an Aegis and a Cheese maybe potentially. Could maybe even just give both to him if he wants to commit for it. They might give Chalice one of them because if he's just playing that like sacrifice to jump in and start the fights. This game is now pretty confirmed for LGD, like the control that they have in the game.
It's certainly looking scary as this game goes on. It's getting to the point where VP, they have to land these combos. They've got to get these double dooms off. They've got to get these black holes off onto multiple heroes. Otherwise, PSG.LGD, they're just going to come out on top of every single fight with the sustain and with how big this Ame Spectre is.
Yeah. It became such a scary game for Solo because every time it seems like they're taking a fight, just like, oh, Haunt's back up. They just pop a Haunt and Solo is isolated and he's just like, oh my god, I can't actually get my spells off with this Ursa and this Spectre in my face.
Pasha, very close to having that halberd. And that could be what sort of keeps Solo alive if he's able to react to the jump in from Chalice and get that disarm off.
But he has the BKB.
He is. He's got to be. Well, he's going to be BKBing every time before he blinks in.
Yeah, more than likely.
Like surely. And if he doesn't, that's going to be a huge mistake.
And we were talking about how the Doom, the Blink Dagger, is this excellent item when you're playing with Grimstroke to get the jumps off, but you're playing versus Haunt, and you're playing versus Radiance. It makes it, makes your job way more difficult for Pasha to be able to get these type of setups that he wants for his team. They're just, finish up the heart, get your Spectral back online. VP, they're under the gun here to make moves. Can't wait for this Haunt.
They're smoking up, but Ramsey, he's still 2200 towards the Reaver. He hasn't quite got the Reaver or the completed Satanic, so they're fighting without, Ramses being sort of that item step ahead that he'd ideally be against this lineup of PSG.LGD at this point, especially if they want to have any sort of chance of bringing down the Spectre and living long enough against him. As Ame, he has that full heart.
4,000 health now on the Spectre on Edgy Treads. I don't see how they... I mean, if they can isolate him, like we said, with the percent-based damages from Doom and from the Enigma, maybe, but he's gonna be dealing so much damage back out in the fight just from dispersion now at this rate. This is looking very problematic for VP as they're kind of having to disengage already. Ame shows his face. Dagger almost flips Roger.
Oh, Chalice.
The bash.
He's on top of him. Straight and he goes. Dagon Blast as well, bringing Roger down low. The Dagger will be out there to pop in the horn. They'll get the Enigma kill. They're ready to try and chase for more. Zame, he's got his eyes on no one. No one pretty far away though. They can't. Can they catch this small thing? They're throwing up a dagger out towards him. TPs are coming in. XM, he's going to find Solo on the side. Solo's gone. They haven't got that Grimstroke available. The Soulbind has been used. Back towards the top lane. They get the Doom down onto Chalice. Chalice will die. So VP able to find some sort of a trade. No one's moving in, but the Rolling Thunder from FY is going to hold him in place. He has got the Shrine healing him up. No one. Tips forward with the waveform again, but XM's able to blink away. Arme's still sitting at pretty much full HP here as this Spectre just cannot be harmed at the moment by VP. They'll turn. They've got the silence onto no one. No one's going to be careful. To Grapify is getting bursted down low. The silence still prevails as he will surely fall. Can he get out? He cannot. No one falls. Ramses does get the root down onto FY, but FY's fine. Blocked in the trees. They cannot finish the kill onto the Pango. FY swashbuckles out. There's a buyback for no one. He needs to find some kills here. Will turn into the Spectre. Has the lockdown onto XM with the dagger. They're charging forward, but with the setup to Grapify, XM could walk off to safety.
They can't touch Ame. He's just full HP throughout the entire fight. They're trying to ignore him going for other targets, but it's a problem. This Radiance does start ticking you down and burning quite a lot as we see. Look at how much damage he did in the fight. 9,400.
And I think what really sort of screwed no one over there was after sort of he'd used the Manta and such, it was that play he talks about in the draft coming in, the Enfeeble and the silence for the lucky shot. He was silenced forever.
Yeah, it looked like it was, what, like 8 seconds or something at least that he gets silenced by it there. That was, yeah.
We'll see what no one gets next, but he may even have to think of getting the BKB as well as the Manta.
Yeah, he's queued it up.
Yeah.
He absolutely needs it. They're just not able to get the targets they want. Sure, they got the Doom on Chalice, which they get the kill, but then, yeah, there's just these bigger problems. The Spectre is just out of control. Tim?
BP. On the Netherboard, XM, X-Nova, and FY at the side. FY is going to go in with the Rolling Thunder, start to bounce Ramsey around here. Soulbind moving there, the Horns out. The VP have to be careful. No one's brought back for this. Chalice commits with the BKB, gets himself on top of Roger. He'll try and back away, but again, this silence just lasting forever. This Enigma is dead for 50 seconds. Roger has no buyback. Solo will go for the TP out. Will he manage to get away? What? The bash, the zap, and the Dagon comes in. 2 dead on VP as PSG.LGD have got the grip. Holding him, Ramsey's passage, trying to get to X-Nova to cancel the grip. Will allow Ramsey to get the BKB. The battle trunks up as well. He's trying to turn, gets the reload to Chalice. Ramsey, can he get any of this kill? So Arme is just tanking it all as this Spectre on the front lines. No one. He's trying to commit for everyone, but no one. He gets stabbed down by the magical combo. No one's dead without buyback. The silence onto Passion, the disarm as well. This Doom cannot escape. And PSG, they're chasing both of them. XM's got the lockdown onto Ramses. Another silence comes into play from that lucky shot. Passion's dead and gone. Only Ramses was able to get away from this. But now the lead starting to be there for PSG.LGD. They're coming out on top. The slow-paced gameplay just... What do you know? It's benefiting this Spectre lineup as they have no answers for Arme now.
They just can't deal damage to him at all. He just literally is walking around inside the fights dealing just constant Radiance damage. There's so many other distractions they have to deal with, and this Pango constantly seems to get the right lucky shot procs over and over again as they just can't get their spells off on VP. This Haunt comes out in full panic. I actually thought they might just call GG there when no one died since he doesn't have buyback, but they're trying to hold on for it here probably just because they still have the combos that can come out. But
and they still have the black hole.
Yeah.
But it's so hard for Roger to get off. As he just dies too quickly. Isn't really necessary about cancelling it. And Roger.
There he goes again.
He has got buyback now though on the Enigma. Bash is going to be back in the game. Still that 30-second window without no one's Morphling. As PSG.LGD laying down the blast. Buyback comes out now from the Enigma. This tier 3 tower going down in the middle lane. Back to protection kicks in momentarily, but the creeps are ready to charge in and look for more. The tier 3's gone. The creeps here, allowing PSG.LGD to keep this push going if they want to. Looks like they'll play it a little safe from reserve. They'll back off. They'll start to deal with the side lanes. The side lane is very much pressured onto their half of the map, so before going to the high ground, they know that they can relax LGD. They'll play it safe. They'll just make sure that all 3 lanes are pushed in, and then they'll go again. They know they've got the edge.
Yep, all 3 lanes pushed in. You force the buyback. Shrines are available now for you, so, yep. They're not in a rush at all anymore. The only thing that could happen is them getting caught by some like ridiculous combo, like some black hole that hits everybody. The Doom gets the double Doom on everybody too. It's, yeah, very difficult.
gem for Pasha. Try and get some of this map control back. Make sure that at least for VP, their half of the map is safe. And PSG.LGD getting any vision down and being able to make the invasions.
Just feeling though like what item is going to bring this back for VP? What play is going to bring it back? And it's pretty much just them getting those, just getting the combos off. I don't think any item is really going to help them here, but they're versus the Spectre, who always is going to have, the Haunt is always available when they're taking these fights. And yeah, 4,100 HP, takes the Dispersion talent as well, so yeah. Real rough here as VP. They're trying to farm up at least the BKB unknown so he can have a little bit more liberty inside of the fights, but so hard for him to focus fire anybody.
The Basher on Charles, so at least a little more control from Ramses and chance that he's able to kill off someone when he pops that battle trance. But still, the damage just doesn't come fast enough from these heroes on VP. All cores having to be forced to build very defensively.
Rest in peace, Solo.
As FY hits him with the Thunder, and Feeble Solo's just stunned forever. As a zaps there from XM. The godlike Pugner continuing his reign on the game.
Ramsey is still top net worth. You know, he's got this Bastion now finished up too, but yeah, him being able to focus targets is just so damn difficult when he's playing versus the Bane, when he's playing versus the Pugna, just even versus the Disarm. There's just so many different ways for them to play around and control him and kite him.
And we see, you know, this sort of swing. It wasn't the greatest of leads that VP had, but it was a very early one and a very definite one. They were getting away with these early timings on the troll. They weren't able to transition into anything bigger than sort of taking a few tier 2 towers. And top lane, no one caught out by the jump. Bashes are there for Chalice. Easy setup for Xnova to follow up with a Fiend's Grip. And that is no one dead for 70. Still no buyback back up for this Morphling.
When you're playing versus a Spectre, it's like the biggest thing is making mistakes is, you know, your absolute kryptonite. You cannot make mistakes when you're playing versus Spectre. VP made that dive play, it really hurt them so much in this game. There's like the back to back, that bottom tower, right? They really want it.
They're popping the hole, they're trying to get in, and he's trying to get the duo on Pasha. He's going to do it on it, losing it, but Black Hole just gets cancelled immediately as Roger just melts in the front lines of the fight. The Rolling Thunder combo used to hold the two of them in place. Pasha falling low. Ramsey's trying to get back to base. That's Pasha dead without buyback. Solo will buy back into the game. Ramsey is trying to tap with the Decrep fight to Salving. GG, well played is called as PSG.LGD take game 1 of this best of 3. VP, they had the lead of the...
Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
PSG.LGD took it all and took that first game. Let's see if Virtus.Pro can turn it around here in game number 2 of the series. We are, of course, in the lower bracket here at the Corsair DreamLeague Season 11. And in this Stockholm major, we have got PSG Radiant, Virtus.Pro Dire, and a Nyx Assassin first pick.
It's a comfort pick, right? We're gonna go for Bug Stripe, maybe. We've seen that work a little bit. But yeah, they picked it all games against EG, and it's just a comfort here for Roger, and just gives that all that vision, and very annoying here to deal with.
Comfort pick? I thought you said you hated the Nyx.
I hated it, but Roger loves it. He loves it.
That is true. Very comforting. All right, we do see the pick.
Oh, we have an FY Enigma.
First pick, Mox.
Yeah, I mean, you banned out the Pango, and we saw his positioning in the other games with the Enigma. Granted, they had a lot of ways to stop it against Vici, but you know, his positioning's quite good, so it's going to be very dependent on Roger here. I have a feeling to do a lot of scouting, make sure that he can't get in that team fight as easily as he'd like.
And we saw a FY Enigma yesterday when they were playing against Vici game, and that was actually the first time that we saw FY Enigma the whole tournament, and he had an okay game. But the problem with him playing Enigma is that they do have to pick it first too. So there's gonna be so many ways or so many heroes that Virtus.Pro can choose to deal with that first 2 picks. And with the Vengeful, actually, they take out one of the counters.
That's it. You know, grab up the counters for yourself. Venge, not too shabby to make sure that she's out of the pool. Don't have to waste a ban on her, and got a lot of utility there too.
Yeah, but we see still Bane in the pool, which is kind of a classic solo hero. Just get that strong laning stage. And can also deal with Enigma. It's gonna still be pretty hard for Enigma to get off his ult unless he gets BKB. She generally, it takes a while, because Nyx can just carapace it pretty easily. So, but you're probably just gonna pick up support here. The Razor was still in pool. Okay.
The crowd started laughing when Razor got picked. An
that's
interesting
weird.
reaction. Never heard that before.
Dear.
Poor Razor. Don't laugh at him. Brewmaster got banned out here. Classic team fight hero, and looks like positioning is going to be a pretty big deal for VP already with that Vengeful Spirit and Enigma combo coming out. So no surprise there. I feel like Nyx Assassin, is he actually good against Enigma though? I mean, yeah, you got the Carapace to cancel the black hole, but when it comes down to it, Enigma's probably just hiding and waiting for that Nyx Assassin to show himself and use Carapace first though, right, Bulldog?
Yeah, I mean, it can go both ways. It's also the mana burn. If it goes late game, it's super annoying for Enigma because Black Hole has like super high mana cost. So if you ever get like 1, maybe 2 mana burns on him, you can't even cast it.
Okay, well, we're going to see that classic ban.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah, it just provides a lot of vision, and it's also, you know, you just want to be on him the entire time. You want to make sure that, there we go. Just want to make sure, you know, that you're keeping tabs on his positioning at all times, trying to make it as difficult as possible, because we haven't been seeing a lot of Blink Enigmas either, right? We've been seeing, you know, more tanky that's been walking into the fight, more sustain. I do like, though, on the side of PSG.LGD, they did pick up people that have more lockdown, and I think that's going to be a lot better for them. I don't know how active they're going to be, though, during the laning phase, if we're going to see a lot of rotations, or if we're just going to kind of see, you know, Enigma just denying that creep, and then also doing a bit of jungling, but the possibility is there, and that's a lot of team fight all at once.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great point. As you said, I mean, they had that kind of weak game that they could have gotten taken advantage of pretty highly last time, so I want to make sure to fix that up for this one.
Yeah, the Bat Rider is out now, and they also banned a Cop on VP's side, which is, we don't see her too much, but the thing about Razors is that his laning stage, he generally doesn't lose against any heroes. And the heroes that he can lose are very unpopular, like Hop can blink away from it. We see a little bit Mirana that can get out of it, but these heroes are not that popular and very strong, so you can just pick him up first too, and he'll just always do fine in the laning stage.
Heroes picked out over here, the banned out on PSG.LGD are both heroes that were picked against, I believe VG picked those up against their Enigma before, so they basically took out everything possible, trying to give FY the best chance to get off this black hole if he has a BKB or whatnot.
That's not a bad idea. We've seen him just roll out of control before, so I'll take it. Anyway, next pick should really show us where this game is going to be going. Got plenty of time, though, to think it over. But pretty standard. Nothing too exciting yet.
No, is there any role specifically that you think PSG.LGD is looking for right now? Because as you said, we already know the Razor pick on Virtus.Pro. We already know that mid matchup. Is there any reason for them to wait for a last pick to go for that?
No, they could pick if they want. I mean, there is a chance that Razor do swap his lane. Like we see the versatility. He usually goes mid though, so you can pick that up if you want. Yeah, they ban out the Bad Rider as well, which is just that annoying hero for so many heroes and so many melee heroes. So Razor could go offlane if you wanted to and punish that as well.
At the moment, I think we're assuming that these two are... oh, never mind. Out of the window.
All right.
So an offlane Enigma then, I guess?
Or Vengeful Core. We have seen that a lot as well.
Vengeful Core? How do we feel about that these days?
It's worked out fine, kind of. Like when you have FY on your team as well, you know that he's going to be farmed, so you don't need to worry about Vengeful falling behind, not getting the farm, because FY will be that kind of 3 position anyway. So they will have the 3 cores that have tons of farm, and Vengeful will just be that swap out from Razor. Static Link can be really good, because Razor really depends on that, like getting in there, getting a good link, and Vengeful can just deal with that pretty easily.
I like the Disruptor pickup. That's probably going to be X-Nova playing that just because of the fact that Razor is so speedy. And it's suddenly, you know, the fights are starting to go a little sideways for the side of Virtus.Pro. They need some way to grab Razor pretty quickly. And if you're able to get that glimpse off, that's a solution right there. Throw him right in the cage and then let everybody wail on him. Oh, the Shadow Demon pickup here. Interesting. That's a save. That's going to be very helpful for them. It's also going to be very good with being able to harass and get a little bit of vision out there. Your thoughts on that, Slacks?
Hey, you know what? More picks on Enigma. I'll take it. Saves are great. We haven't seen a lot of heals in this series, which has been pretty interesting. A lot of guys are in this meta, but being able to stop these huge initiations and these big wombo combos is pretty important. So I'll take that for sure.
Yeah, I'm kind of happy with it, because normally when you see an Enigma, you know, you're thinking indeed of the Bane and stuff, but now you also got to worry about Avenge. But now, rather than stopping the black hole or anything like that, you just disrupt the person you want to save and keep alive.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen. He can cast his black hole.
That's life.
That is life.
Yeah, and it's especially good against Disruptor as well. That Static, his ultimate, it's just so annoying to deal with if you don't have BKB yet.
But when you disrupt someone that's getting glimpse, the glimpse will still happen, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Correct.
Yeah, correct.
So that kind of sucks. They do end up picking Mirana though, which you know, it is good against Razor in the laning stage. We've seen it a little bit this tournament to medium success.
Yeah.
Medium success.
Medium success is a top 8 performance from EG with the mid Mirana.
Wow. Okay.
It's medium because there's 16 teams. Top 8. Half.
Medium success.
Medium
sounds like my
one
career.
Of the brothers play it.
5 seconds.
It works well. When the other brother, it sucks so far in this tournament.
Very interesting. Sometimes the hero sucks. I've only seen it suck. I didn't see a lot of the group stage, and EG running that one didn't look too great to me. And there's Phantom Lancer. Talk about medium success.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting hero pickup that we've seen so far, although it is interesting in this game. I mean, they do have escape on Mirana, but everyone else is kind of committed. And one of the best ways to beat up that Disruptor pick is kind of just to run straight at him. If you're behind, running for your life as Disruptor, you are not where you want to be. Or Enigma.
Yeah, and it's just also, they have no real good ways to deal with illusions right now, and also playing against Disruptor is super annoying, and PL is one of the few heroes that can actually easily deal with it. You W, you can just jump away from it.
I like it though. It's kind of a rock, paper, scissors of who gets on top of who first. Disruptor getting a nice ult off just instantly on top of the PO gives them an opportunity to kind of be able to catch him a little bit, but don't see that happening too much on this one. I like this Virtus.Pro draft a lot more personally. It has the ability to get those catches. It has the ability to have a frontliner, do some damage. This is a VP that looks pretty good. And Shadow Demon PL, super illusions. Illusions on illusions. Moxxi, think of the illusions. Illusions, think about it.
It's only one way to deal with that. You got to pick Terrorblade against it, right? Make more illusions out of the illusions.
You know,
fight the illusions.
Crash the entire stream.
We honestly have seen PL Terrorblade go head-to-head on the illusion battle royale, so really hope we don't see that, but could happen.
It's fine now, though. They've optimized the game, I'm sure, so it doesn't lag anymore.
Yeah.
Right, Valve?
Just Darkseer banned out. That makes perfect sense. We've seen that Darkseer vacuum wombo combo with just a Disruptor, just an Enigma, but all three. Yeah, you could actually wrong team, but it's still good, though.
I'm worried about the draft coming out from PSG.LGD because I don't think they've got enough damage, and I don't think they've got enough bodies, in a sense, to like be front and forward. Like, I feel like these are pretty squishy people.
Yeah, these are definitely like ganking, you know, pick one off and kill him and then run, unless Enigma gets a god tier black hole, but they still got one pick to be able to fix that there.
Oh, the puck pickup over here from where?
That's very
aggressive.
We talked about initiation, having more of that. The Waning Rift's going to be really, really good too. Very slippery hero to get your hands on.
Yep, problem fixed there. They have everything that they need to be able to scout out with Nyx, jump on them with Puck, make a lot of room for PL or Razor to get farming, and if anything goes wrong, Shadow Demon's there to back them up.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what PSG.LGD is going to do last, because I agree with Moxxi. We need some beef on the side of PSG.LGD here.
We need somebody to fight on PSG.LGD.
Or to disengage. How about a Centaur?
No more running.
Run away.
No more running, Sheever. Look at all these cowards on this team.
Oh, they can run in if you want. Oh, boy. I mean, that turns into beef later on.
I kind of like the Spectre more than last time because they have the ability to jump on anybody, and Haunt is going to be a really valuable asset on PSG.LGD on this one. I mean, they can go on anyone that they want. They just have to hope that they're not 5-manning at all times, which they probably will be.
You want to go first?
Me?
Yeah.
Woo! I got to stick to my guns, man. I told you. VP purposely loses game one. They always win the other two. VP on me. They got a lot going on in this draft.
Almost always.
Always.
Almost always, Moxxi.
I mean, it's true. Like, VP, they're awesome. They definitely, you know, they'll drop game number one, come back with a vengeance. I don't know. I got this feeling. I got the feeling that we are going to get some really hype black holes coming out here. And I'm going to have to go PSG.LGD because I want to hear OD up there screaming his brains out about how excited he is. So go with that.
FY sucks. He can't play Enigma. He doesn't know how to play that. I believe in the VP power here. This time around, they should have a stronger lane in the bottom lane to punish the Spectre, either with the Puck or Razor if they want to. So punish the goddamn Spectre. Now you have initiation, so you're good to go. Now they can finally run in their faces.
You know, when we all went against Moxxi last time, she was the one being right?
Don't be a coward, Sheever. Come with us.
I guess
Do what you gotta do, Sheever.
I'm gonna go for VP as well.
That's
I
don't
gotta
lie.
believe in the 1-game loss, 2-game wins. But let's find out. Remember, vote for your MVP during the game. Hashtag play your name, and now let's throw it over to ODpexil and Fog for game number 2.
Prepare for battle.
Thank you very much, CBS. Game 2 of Virtus.Pro versus LGD. Let's see if this time around VP have the answer to the big, scary Spectre of Arme.
Yeah, and you know, this time around, a lot of times we're seeing these Enigmas picked up. There's a counter. There's the counter to the BKB Black Hole. This game, there is not a counter to the BKB Black Hole if FY is able to get it at any point in the game. They even go for a Mirana, a hero that we don't really see.
Well, I guess we saw it a few times earlier, sort of what EG were playing a little bit at the start. I believe what Forward Gaming as well, we're trying it a few times.
That's very forward gaming though, right?
Yeah, it was sort of mixed. I was like, Forward Gaming didn't have such a great time, but EG, you know, Samael had some fantastic games with the Mirana, so we'll see if it works out this time around for LGD.
Yeah, I think they're trying to find a lane that can do decent versus that Razor and not put XM on a int hero in particular. For the most part in these games, he's playing like these Pugnas, he's playing Pucks, he's playing all these type of heroes that, I mean, even like maybe like an ODers or a Death Prophet even. This game he's versus a Nyx Assassin, so I think they were trying to find something that can not have to worry so much about the Nyx inside of that mid game and also maybe do okay inside that lane. I think Razor still going to be just fine in that mid, but he should be able to win that matchup versus the Mirana quite easily. As bottom, we see Roger and Pasha.
The battle begins!
Can they put the pressure on onto the Spectre like Bulldog was talking about this game? They have to, because that last game, Ame, he was uncontested farm. Sure, he went for this like Tread Soul Ring, which is a bit not traditional, but he made it work. His team made the space for him, and he was able to get that farm online.
And I mean, looking at the drafts as well, obviously, PSG.LGD getting that Spectre in again as the 5th pick. Do you think VP, with the way that they drafted him, did have this solo? Doesn't actually look for him. So, one up on the ground. But do you think, looking at VP's draft, they were expecting the 5th pick Spectre?
I'm not too sure, because just the way that they're, like, the Razor is good versus it, but, like, the Spectre overall, the matchup, he's fine in this one. If he gets the late game, he is going to be that powerhouse. He doesn't, PL can be, but I think a Spectre can overwhelm and just, yeah, whatever. He's going to build Radiance anyway, right? And then that's the dream versus a PL if you have your Radiance. So I don't know. I don't know if VP actually expected this one this time.
Let's see, because it's always going to feel very bad for VP if they fall foul to the Ame Spectre 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
As you have to hope that for VP at least they do have a better way of approaching this game. As game 1 looked to be just going to plan the entire time for PSG.LGD. Even when they were behind at the start, the action wasn't going fast enough and furiously enough for VP to really ride that early lead to any sort of, you know, point where they were close to victory.
Yeah, this one, it's similar. Like, you're playing for Spectre, you can't make too many mistakes. That's always the big thing we talk about. And that last one, they made some crucial ones. See if they can, you know, fix up those errors this time around. His mid lane is already, I mean, Razor, we kind of said, you know, the Miranda, they wanted to pick it because you might be able to do okay in the matchup, but Razor's dominating it right now. Actually saw XM missed, I think,
missing some
3
CS
or
there.
4 CS under the tower there. Miranda's base damage is pretty bad.
Of course, PSG.LGD take the page out of, well, VP's, but anyone's book, I guess, in terms of the Enigma play. FY starting the jungle. We've seen him do just a few times, and FY's Enigma.
Ring of Regen pulled.
You can expect big black holes from him down the line.
Yep. I believe he bought himself a sentry, and he did actually de-ward the ward that was placed by VP. So he will be able to jungle not under that vision that the VP did have before. But PL's getting good farm. Bottom.
They'll get
a kill.
They'll get it. They're able to run down X-Nova. Those too far out. The two of them have the burst of control. Pasha and Roger getting the first kill on the ball for VP.
Going the 2 nuke build on Pasha, not getting the phase shift so they can put the pressure on. Like Bulldog was saying, they need to put the pressure on the Spectre. They can't let him just sit down there and farm. So these two should be able to accomplish that for a good amount of time. And since there was a disruptor who's not really the best at securing lanes. He's gotten better, of course, because of the way the nuke got buffed. But all 3 lanes, yeah, VP farming fine. PL may be getting a tiny bit pressured, but this Razor is destroying XM right now. 12-4 to the 6-2.
Top lane, bit of an attempt here to kill a solo. Gets him with the disruption, the poison stacking up on Chalice. Rams is on top of them with the Spirit Lance. Fairy Fire's going to be popped. Malefice will hold Ramsey back a little bit, but he has the Doppelganger still ready to go. Jumps into the trees and will get the kill.
All 3 lanes looking good. You see XM, he does pick up a DD, so maybe we'll be able to fix a little bit of that mid lane problem, but Ame, that's getting pressured.
This would be a huge one if they have the first, but he has the stick charges now. In fact, he's looking to turn. He's straight down onto Pasha. Pasha's got the orb. Will manage to get himself away. I'll turn and trade his down to Roger. Kinetic Field will hold him in place. Ame being a little careful. He is a little low. And indeed will let Roger head back towards the towers. Pasha had the bottle. Was starting to refuel back up.
If they connect that waning rift, they might be able to get the kill there, but yeah, Pasha wasn't going to get it. XM, he's committing for the
kill. And Fairy Fire will stop him from getting it. There's a close attempt, and also the South ready there from no one, so he's going to be able to get back up to full. Do still have the South available on XM, so he himself also will be able to stick around the lane, but that was to see that aggressive attempt. He knows that he's behind in CS. Yeah. If he gets that kill, that's going to help close the gap.
That was kind of like an all-in, like laning phase is starting to get to the point where it's not completely closed out, but that was like the all-in to try to fix his lane, and yeah, it didn't end up happening there. So no one will be able to even get an Arcane Rune here too, and yeah, he's happy. He's spamming those chat wheels.
Bottom. Roger and Pasha able to get involved in these sort of pulls X-Nova, having to be a little more careful how far forward he comes. If he gets caught up by a stun, they will burst this disruptor pretty easily.
The beauty of the Radeon side, being able to do that little pull through constantly and just actually deny, I think he denied a full wave there from the side of VP. But they're constantly trying to poke Ame, and if you notice, Ame has queued up the Soul Ring already again in this game. He's realizing that It seems interesting. Like it is a mana-intense hero, so being able to spam that all the time is just very useful. As Roger called the kinetic is...
All three of them getting very low. Arme keep the distance. Another orb comes in and jump forward. See if they can finish off the disruptor with those right clicks. Not enough. Xnova will survive there. Only just as Noah solo. They get the double usage out of the shrine. And down bottom, in fact, Roger, he's still hunting for Xnova. Another kinetic field comes out, he tries for the stun. Goes for the predicting that Xnova would hide in the trees, but Xnova makes the smart move, goes straight down the lane, keeps the distance.
But what they did there was it was 4.5 minutes or so. You saw they started playing very aggressive on VP to push that lane in, force them to their tower so they can guarantee they get the 2 bounty runes. So Pasha, he had the bottle before those bounties spawned, able to fill up his mana, and I think he still even has another full bottle pretty much.
And we're seeing in that mid lane when sort of no one leaves the lane and goes to the jungle, it does give time for XM to begin catching up. Sure, 31 against the 19, but with the denies and such, no one. He's going to be able to keep ahead, but you can certainly expect XM to start to chase back in, and it'll get to the point where you could expect to see maybe some sort of a movement to set up. If he gets to these side lanes, XM, he has heroes that he can work with to get setups for kills.
And I mean, it is deceptive, honestly. Like, he's actually even net worth, because a lot of those are neutrals. So even though it's the 32 last hits, they're actually dead even at 2k at the moment, until he eats that mango, where he probably fell a little bit behind. But
Bottom, Arme is alone trying to farm here between the two towers as Roger goes in with the stun. TP coming in. Are they going to be able to burst Arme in time? They won't be able to.
But look where they push the Spectre out to. He has to actually probably go Shrine so they can guarantee to build the farm, but he's missing a full creep wave under the tower there. This is much better approach this game by VP, just putting the pressure on in the laning phase in particular. Chalice looks like he should be okay solo.
And with the wave of terror, they're just punching into the Shadow Demon. The physical damage from these two with the Eidolons and that armor reduction from the wave of terror just shreds through the Shadow Demon.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, XM is totally caught back up here. He's actually bullied no one a bit to have to go to the jungle and actually use a shrine as well. It's Murata taking over the lane a bit here, and that's the catapult wave. So he's able to put pressure on tower too, and bottom, Xnova getting body blocked.
Kinetic field is not. Is he going to hold him back? No, he won't. Pasha is able to get the final right click off and get the kill. They get Xnova once again, same time up top. The attempt from VP to chase down FY. Doppelganger in from Ramses. They're on top of the Enigma. He cannot hide. The poison from Solar will burst him.
See, this is more fun game. See, the last one we had, what, 12 kills at the 20-something minutes? We got 5 at 7. You know, they're picking up the pace. They're ramping up the action. Roger.
He's popped the mango. Spike Carapace trips up Arme as he pops out the dagger. They're hunting for him. Arme actually able to sort of jump across the trees there with that pathing from the dagger. Stun from Roger does land, but no further follow-up. He's got those 2 points in dispersion and has the 11-1 charges, so it's a pretty beefy target to go on. Yeah. I will be able to stay safe underneath the tower.
I'm liking this Soul Ring. Honestly, he's got this like 7 HP per second. Look how tanky he is too already. 1100 HP on the Spectre, so he can soak up some of that pressure. No, he's have the dagger to farm. Full approach. I like it.
And XM, I mean, with the way that no one has been going to the jungle as a Razor does, the tier 1 tower in the mid lane, it's nearly going down on VP's side.
Yeah, I mean, he put the pressure on, he forced the Razor back up and used a shrine, and that was during the catapult wave. He's just like, okay, free hits on the tower. That was very well played by XM. We see VP, they're putting a lot of attention to try to make sure Ramses can get good farm. They've put up these double wards actually on the left side of the map here to keep tabs on the Enigma and just know if any like smoke rotation comes out to gank this, but they're just looking to take the tower here. With these auras they've got online with the Dominator finished. Easy pickings for it, as FY secures that last hit for himself.
We're seeing now, just having the infused raindrop. I mean, Arme, he has got Xnova by his side, but if it's just Pasha and Roger down here, he doesn't need to be too scared on the Spectre.
No?
He's a very hard target for these two to harass.
Yeah, I think no one needs to maybe start being a little bit more active here. Instead of just straight up just jungling, I think he has to be making moves around the map to put pressure on the lanes to help a little bit. As top, he will go for Chalice, but disruption not quite in range. Also, getting the mini stun on off this.
And with that movement, though, he tries to go somewhere else. It's going to leave that tower to full. XM's able to claim it. That's going to keep XM very much at the top of that net worth.
He's going to get the last hit, too. They used the glyph, but secured for XM. Top net worth now on this Murata. And he's got, the good thing about Murata in this game is that he has Avenge. Sometimes Muratas, you're like, your damage isn't really the greatest. Sure, Leap provides you a lot more, but he's got that amplification. I think it's very important to have this core Murata.
That's Roger. After the setup on Xnova, Pasha knows he's not going to jump forward for that one. Knows that Arme's hiding in the trees.
They're making a move down bottom, though. We see PSG.LGD, they're rotating too to secure the Spectre.
Roger might not be able to get back towards that tower in time with this wrap around the arrow. It's going to be off the mark. Roger's able to back off and read the movement. And with that in mind, both of them will be able to get away from the rotation. And it was a big one, both Chalice and XM coming down. That's every single core of PSG.LGD suddenly being in that bottom lane. Top, the know FY is very much alone with that movement and showing on the bottom lane. They'll just run him down with the PL. They're straight on top of him. Solo buys time for Ramses to surround him, trap him in the illusions. As VP continues to get a lot of action going for Ramses in that top lane.
Yeah, it's a PL who's versed not the most, not like no AoE damage, but pretty limited to be able to clear out those illusions. Just the PL, you know, Static Storm and the Enigma pulse until they have the Radiance, of course, for Spectre in the later stages, but Ramses getting off to a good start. As I believe the Atos, I think, is getting close to being done for no one. So I guess he's just looking to farm until he has Atos before he wants to make plays. He wants to be able to guarantee get chased down. Because their catch is a bit limited on VP. It's pretty much the Puck and the Nyx as their big catching hero. So if they're not there, he wants to be sure to have his own tool. Be sure to get on top of these heroes. Oh, Levels looking for supports. We are at that 10-minute mark. FY is 6. See, X-Nova only level 4 right now. They buy the Tome. Are they going to pass that to somebody? I saw Chalice actually buy it. He might give that to one of his teammates here as this Vengeful. And they're making a smoke move up. They're actually looking to hunt, maybe get some deep wards down to watch, because VP's not making aggressive moves right now. So Razor's jungling, PL's jungling. They know this. They want to get tabs of that.
Yeah, I know the PL's there up on the high ground. Does put the kinetic field as that smoke gets dispelled, but what's Ramses, deep in their neutral camps. PSG.LGD, the three of them pushing on. They can try for some pressure on the tier 2. You know, FY having that helm, having the Hellbear smashing the Eidolons up. They can force forward. Roger has just hit 6, so the Vendetta's there to allow them to scout out, get this vision on the 2 of them.
Pasha's setting up here. He's TPing to the shrine, has coil.
If Roger can get the right line, he's going to try for it. It's only a stun onto 1, but it will mean an easy kill onto the Enigma. FY's gone, and with the root down onto XM, followed up by the silence from Pasha, VP will get both of the kills.
Very nicely done there. And with that Atos, I mean, incredibly good versus the Mirana there, as we see, being able to get that follow-up catch. And they will even get to... They used Demonic Purge on that one. Solo really wanted to get that extra little bit. It's 1-7, 2k advantage. And yeah, great move there. But this is what they want to be doing, right? VP, they want to be leading. They don't want this to be an early game when they're playing... an even game when they're playing versus the Spectre.
They've got to make sure that this league continues to grow. Because you look back at the same time last game, it also looked, hey, VP, they had a fantastic beginning. But where do they take it?
Yeah. And this time they are playing versus this Enigma, who does not have the threat of anybody stopping his black hole once he gets BKB, which I think FY can just rush it in this game. Like, there's no one to stop it if he gets it. So I don't know if the auras... Yeah, he's executed up. So he's the Dominator, Arcane Boots, and just straight to BKB. Do they have somebody else maybe that's going to build toward that mech? We actually don't know yet, just yet. No, Chalice has queued up the drum, so... He's just prioritizing that he knows that they should be able to win every team fight once he has BKB. And the job is really make that space for Ame.
Do have the Shadow Demon down here solo. He has got Demonic Purge. With the 2 of them, not enough. They need an extra member, and Roger does start to move down towards the jungle.
It is quite a lot of damage if the Desolate is skilled, but most Spectres, they don't really get the points early on. Shadow Demon, actually, if you get the disruption on him and he has Desolate, you kill yourself. Your Spectre kills yourself pretty quickly. But yeah, they do need the +1 until that's online. Solo, he gets a ward, the warding mission, though. He gets a couple down there so they can keep some tabs. This LGD, they're looking to make a play here onto Ramses. They've got this Moonlight Shadow set up.
Yep, that'll be able to come out of the invis straight away with the Magic Missile. Static Storm down. An easy trap is set for Ramses. Has no way to play his way out of that one.
Something you kind of forget about when you don't play too much versus this Mirana is having just sentries set up inside of your lanes to protect your cores. They actually don't have obs and sentries placed down anywhere. It's kind of like this free smoke that people always talk about when you have a Mirana in your lineup. They now do have Blink on Pasha, so they can look to make more consistent aggressive plays to try to punish Ame.
Yeah, they really do need to start worrying about the Spectre soon. I mean, sure, he's not, he's halfway up the net worth, but a couple of fights, a quick haul from Ame to join in, and suddenly he'll shoot up to the same farm as no one.
Yeah, and the thing this time is in this game, they get the Carapace connection, but they won't be able to close it. In this game, they don't have anyone to hit towers on the side of VP. Like, no one really can siege solo.
Chalice TP's into the shrine. He's got the setup on Solo. Solo turns with the Demonic Purge, but Arme's going to be there with the chase down. He's got Dagger back up in a second if he needs it. He's just going to run him down as there's the Dagger to finish off the kill. More money for Arme. You have to be careful, VP. Anytime you poke and you lose a kill to the Spectre, you're going to be allowing LGD to build towards a similar situation as game 1.
Hey, no one's just playing the farm game. He's just been hitting jungle creeps pretty much this entire time. 122 last hits. 2,000 HP on this Razor too, so he could look to get aggressive. And I think they should. With this Blink, with this Coil too. We have Bounty Runes coming up, so we'll see a contestant coming out since they have that bottle on Pasha. FY is poised up on this high ground. Chalice is actually committing forward. He's going to get A-toast.
Yeah, they'll get the root out. So they have the follow control. They are going to have Arme by his side, but indeed that's going to be Chalice gone. They burst him down. Now they'll turn towards the Spectre. Arme retreating, does have FY. FY hiding in the trees just in case the chase was going to continue towards Arme, but it won't be the case. At least immediately. They are still starting to move towards this point lane, but there's going to be time for Arme to TP out. FY, is he going to get away? He's not. Roger able to close the gap with the stun, as they will manage to punish the Enigma. At least though for LGD, Arme gets out, back towards the mid lane. X-Nova and Arme getting gone upon, but they're actually able to turn. Solo tried to go with the disruption, glimpse back into the range of them there. Solo still getting beaten down by Assassin Tormentor, and they'll lose the Shadow Demon VP. The rest of them not able to get there in time, and okay, I will allow some sort of follow-up to that disruption setup.
XM got a lot of farm during that whole entire play there. He pushed out like 4 or 5 creep waves up top as Sub Ramsey's jungling. And immediately they're making the smoke play. They've got Disruptor. I think they're just going to keep doing this over and over again. Just this Venge plus Disruptor combo to just set up for the PL. Because he can't do anything until he has... I mean, yes, either there's someone behind him, particularly that Shadow Demon to save, which I think Solo is probably going to have to start doing soon, or until he has his either like Mantis Stone, he can push himself out. But he's actually gone for the SNY, so still at high risk of getting just caught inside of that Static Storm over and over again.
Pings out onto Ramsey. They'll start to move straight towards him. See if they can catch him out, though. It's going to be hard until they know where the real one is. He doppelgangers across. But we'll now know that they're there. Kinetic Field down, and next over Chalice. Drums are going to be popped to get them away from any TP, but indeed Pasha blings forward. They get the Dream Call snap onto the two of them. X-Nova will be found. See if they can chase down Chalice, Roger. Maybe trying to cut off with the Vendetta, but the tier 1 tower is still top, so it's still hard for them to get any sort of wraparound onto Chalice. They'll look straight towards the mid, knowing that there's no Disruptor there to provide some sort of save if they can find themselves a bigger core, VP.
Yeah, they get their ward behind the tower too, so they are aware of anything if LGD does want to step up. So they see FY actually pouring in here already. Roger is set up immediately. They're going.
They are. FY TP'd into this straight away. The reactions from VP comes out.
They were super prepared for that one there. Just everybody wrapping around perfectly for it.
VP, they should get this tier 1 tower. They'll push back hard against LGD now with a 3k lead, 11-4. Glimpse is going to be there, dragging Roger back into the kinetic field. Chalice, he's getting focused down though by Ramsey the stun as well. Getting the two of them out is perfect from Roger, as that's the 3 more dead on PSG.LGD.
And they have the Shadow Demon there, back behind the Razor just to save on top too. And yeah, beautiful stun by Roger.
Roger
perfect setup.
Setting up so much there. It was the reason why they got that initial kill onto FY. PSG.LGD, they still decided to stick around and try and fight, and Roger's there with a perfect angle for more.
And VP, they recognize our draft doesn't really push towers too well, so when we get these type of kills, that's our opportunity to actually get these objectives finally.
A bit of a balls of CP there from Ramsey, even out to that tier 2. Nearly a Malefice came in, but was able to complete the channeling before FY closed the gap. But VP, you can definitely feel it, being a bit more controlled with how they keep this pressure up. They're able to come out of the lanes on top, and this time round, it's looking less likely they're going to throw it away with any sort of dive as such happened in game 1.
Yeah, they only really have the puck who actually can dive forward, right? Razor he's not going to get
out. Yeah, you can't wave form behind a tier 2 on this era. So no one's teammate's going to be happy with that.
Yep. They've got Moonlight Shadow available again. Do they have the Static Storm? X-Nova starting to get some vision out first. But yeah, these plays, they actually seem like they need the Moonlight Shadow because they have to get right on top of the PL for it to be a consistent gank that'll actually work every time. But Ame is still farming fine. That's the one thing that's great for LGD is he's 3,400, 3,500 actually toward that relic.
Roger again, giving this information. Eyes on to both XM and Chalice. This is 2 cores. I mean, if they can get both of these, even if they just get one, it would be fantastic. Root's going to be out. Dust is there, of course. Roger's prepared for the Invis. As Chalice will fall, XM has to just get out immediately. Straight into the trees. They are hunting for him, though. Seeing if they can find him. Do have a Dream Core, but they don't have vision, of course, on the front. But the Dream Core is going to know. They pop it down. They know that he's in it somewhere. Another stun from Roger again, holding him in place. They've got the sentry down. He'll be able to jump to the side. I believe he does have TP. He's trying to get away. Can they burst him in time? They cannot, so XM will escape.
I can't believe they actually got him there with like all those spells. They didn't see him. They didn't have the detection until a little bit later on. Ramses, though, is able to farm freely in that mid lane for quite a long time. Yeah, VP still looking very good. Ramsey, or Roger constantly, every single time Vendetta's up, pops it instantly on that scouting expedition. Kind of trying to keep tabs of where LGD is. Don't let them slow this pace down too much, because the Spectre, he's still having okay timing, just like that last game.
Now that's going to be the real test for VP, trying to fight when that Radiance is done on Ame. That was the big turning point last game.
This time no one is an absolute unit, though. He is sitting at 2300 HP, BKB, Atos, no risk. He's going for the really safe items here, just so he can always stay inside of the fight, stay inside of the frame. Follow around that Spectre. How's our Enigma BKB for FY?
Very close, just about 1,000 gold away.
1,000 gold, okay. So I think that looks like they'll come pretty much at the same time, the Radiant and the BKB, so we will probably see LGD look to fight around those timings. VP, they have to be ready for it. And we do see them, they've placed down a bunch of sentries on the map, and they're placing just these river wards actually for the time being, just to watch if LGD is looking to set up. And you see these random sentry placements that they have too, just kind of inside the jungle where your PL is going to be farming, so you can be wary if they do look to go for those Moonlight Shadows.
Top lane. BKB is going to be committed here by no one. He wants X-Nova dead, he'll get it. Look at the kill on the Disruptor. Horn actually being used to their attempt down bottom. They're using the Black Hole to set up for Pasha. They'll see a core opportunity kill and they'll take it. Just cost them the 2 ultimates.
It's a killing spree though, so they get the, I mean, the Radiance is done now.
Yeah, gives them that final bit of money for Arme.
Yep. Key timing.
But you know, and now VP, they're going to want to do something big, at least when Pasha's back up, when these ultimates aren't available. They're so ready to go. You have this Diffusal S&Y done on Ramses. And as you say, with the way that no one's built, he can just charge straight into the fight. They've got a sentry down, they've got the vision required. His challenge found as well. VP certainly stepping up the pace with much more success than they were able to at this point in game 1.
And now another one solo. He finds the disruption on the Disruptor.
Does get arrowed. Next time we'll jump up to the high ground to capitalize on that and get the kill. Same time the trade's going to be made. X-Nova falls. 18 for 6, 8k lead for VP. They're playing it fast.
It's just 2 heroes right here from VP at the moment. Ame is actually TP'd to try to be sure to defend this tower.
VP.
These 2 cores are so scary on VP. The PL and the Razor just
they've got Passion
hold
back
their
in.
ground.
He's back in the game. He's able to TP over to the wave. They're ready to make a play. Straight down with the rod. And with the Dream Coil, Arme's in trouble. Is there going to be any help for him? I don't think so. BKB committed by no one. That's the Spectre dead. The itemization this game and the way that they're playing. VP, it seems at the moment they learned their lesson from game 1.
That was just sheer confidence, right? Just they have the bots on the puck. They know that these 2 can hold their ground until he does respawn for able to set up for that one. Yeah, I'm really liking the itemization by no one. Just no funny business, right? Just that Atos to catch, BKB to be safe.
And PSG.LGD have to do some real slowing down this game if they want to get it to the same point as last time, but as it is, they're getting caught out across the map. X-Nova is even going to pop a Static Storm down for this.
And look at this, they're immediately just running it, looking for another target here. LGD hemorrhaging kills.
Well, he's got to be careful. He has got that BKB, but ideally wants to be using the charges when he's going for those black holes, not to survive any sort of gank. XM's already TPing out of that bottom lane. Very close to having his BKB.
Yep. In the last game they had, XM was playing this Pugna where he was able to, when all these kind of situations are happening, he was getting the split push going. He's always been able to pressure towers. This time he's in Mirana. He's been pretty quiet in this game. He did pretty okay in that laning phase, but he's 2-2-1. They only have 6 kills, but his real only contribution has been a lot of that Moonlight Shadow for his team to set up. He can't actually do too much because he can't take objectives when all this is happening. He just kind of pushes out a wave slowly in comparison to a Pugna. As Roche looks to be secured. Don't see LGD being able to contest this one, but they are starting to make their way over.
Got to get it quick though, and they don't have Black Hole. They do have the Horn at the ready.
Ramses is very low.
Arrow's going to come in to scout it out, but the Roche... Oh, the Horn! Maybe they're going to jump in. Can he do it? Radion gets the kill, but Roger snatches the Aegis. Now they'll try and turn towards Arme. BKB's popped by no one. He's in with the Static League. F5 trying to move into the Black Hole. He's there, controlling the Razor. No one's held down. LGD, they'll get another. They'll pick picked off the Nyx Assassin once, taking the Aegis out of the hands of Roger. They're ready to kill him again. They're focusing him down. The Malef is slowing him, stunning him up. That's another dead on VP. As PSG.LGD, they don't manage to pick up the Aegis themselves, but they get the Roche kill, they get the team fight. They might even get more here. The glimpse back attempt is going to be there, but there's the play from Pasha there. The blinks at the same time to get away from it will keep him safe.
Oh my God. Ramses got bashed as the Roche was so low. He actually was so close to dying. Look at his contribution to the fight. He literally just doppeled and had to run away inside of there. No one gets isolated. And Roger, you know, it's panic at that point. Someone needs to pick up the Aegis. They make sure the Spectre does, and Roger has to take it. It's not obviously the target that VP wanted to have on that Aegis. As Chalice commits forward here.
He's going to go straight for the TP out, but the damage, it's too much. Ramses really illusions out with those diffusal blades. Shreds through the Vengeful Spirit. VP still holding the lead, but we'll see it again.
Yeah, look at that bash. Bash right there.
Was the arrow? Oh, was it the arrow? No one.
Yeah, it was arrow no one.
Arrow no one. But just an unfortunate turn of events there around the pit. PSG.LGD making the call to go in with that horn at the right time. Black Hole easily allowing them to kill off no one, and it just fell apart from that point for VP in this Roche fight.
Yeah, thank God for Pasha coming in there on the back lines, cleaning up Ame. If Ame gets away there, could be total disaster for VP. Right now, it's relatively okay as they keep this 8K gold lead, and they're starting to still pick up some kills around the map as Pasha.
They're hunting. Midnight Pulse cleans out the trees. Dream goes down onto the two of them. The arrow is going to miss, but the Maleficent Steady Summon down upon him. He's glimpsed back into it as well. Pasha can't escape.
At Radiant's middle tower.
Don't want to be giving up any of these type of kills though when you're playing versus the Spectre. That's without Haunt. You just lost your puck. Haunt's going to be back up in about 30 seconds, and you have to imagine LGD, they're going to look to go immediately. They want to making moves when their timings are up. When they have Haunt, maybe they wait for the black hole because it's an extra 30 seconds after the Haunt is up. And they always have that BKB, so he should get the setup. But now Ame,
they're going for him. They've got the spike carapace into the stun. They're locking him down. Ame's got VP. They make the move when he's out on the lane, and the Aghanim Scepter now done for no one.
Touch the arrow too, and that was them actually not even having to use the one thing that we didn't talk about actually is the break. They have the break versus the Spectre a lot of times in this game. He didn't have to use it until the end. He just used it to actually finish the kill.
Thanks, Sam. Be hunted. Swap back from Chalice. We'll get him away from Ramses' army. Hey, they've got to be careful. FY with that blink. 20 seconds until black hole. You've got to watch out for this Enigma.
Yeah. The blink finished up definitely is a lot more of a threat. Because the Haunt, you're gonna provide yourself vision for this Enigma. You're gonna provide the chaos as well for you to try to get the setups there. This VP, they claim that mid tier 2. They've only got one tier 2 left. They look like they're making their way down bottom to try to maybe secure that one.
After they've got that tier 2, it's then the real test is there for VP. Breaking the high ground against this lineup without losing team fights. As they cannot afford to slip behind like they did at game 1.
Gotta watch how much you stack too. I mean, this Enigma, the blink BKB, there's no way to stop it.
And with this smoke, GG, they're looking for the setup. Chalice will reveal himself on the front. You see FY trying to wrap around from the low ground. They're pretty grouped up. Doesn't want to commit though. Still wants to know everyone in. Now Charm, he gets two-man black hole off. Holding down Solo as well as no one, and that'll do it for the first 2 kills. Roger tries to go on the back line. The Dream Call is down upon him, but Ame moves in. It's 3 dead on VP. Ramses, he has to get out of here. Buyback from Chalice and buyback from X-Nova. They know if they get this kill, this is going to be a huge team fight with the VP. It's already pretty, sorry for LGD, it's already pretty massive. Getting these 3 kills. Swap back as well onto Ramses. He'll jump across the side, but the glimpse is there. Bringing him back, stunned up, held in place. Ramses falls as well. As this is the fight that VP, they cannot afford for this to happen. They're losing these fights. The Spectre's staying alive. Ame's going to climb into this game, and this is not going to get any easier for Virtus.Pro.
No, especially when it's a Spectre versus a PL. So every single time in these matchups, you're going to be throwing that dagger onto the PL, so you always know which one that real is. You can't do any funny business as a PL there. And you see FY, he could have maybe gone for like other targets, but he prioritizes get the Shadow Demon, get the Razor together, because then they can't save. And when no one's out of the fight, he's their strongest hero, even though the PL is so farmed.
Down bottom, trying to chase here with their Radiance, ticking him down. Jump forward from XM. Arrow's going to be dodged. See if he can play his way out of this. He has got the Yules into the blink. Available Ame trying to keep on top of him. Oh. It's the Yules into his orb and blink out will allow Pasha to dance his way away from LGD's chase.
Space created. But that is a huge swing of momentum there.
I mean, I feel like, what, how many sort of how many more team fights like that can VP afford to happen before this game looks to be as nearly as over as game 1 did?
I don't think they can make another mistake in this game. I think that one is already so costly for them. They ideally, like, they wanted to be able to have these fights happening with Aegis, right? But they didn't end up actually have it because of what ended up happening around that Roche pit. So I think if one more situation happens like that, it's going to be already like very confirmed for LGD favored.
And we're seeing the way at the moment the last few black holes have gone, it's been absolutely fine. You know, as long as FY gets no one, you know, he's the tanky one. As long as they can hold him down, get the Razor out of the fight, they can sort of deal at the moment with picking off Ramses later.
And
you want to get rid of this Razor with his Eye of the Storm, especially because he has this Axe.
Yeah. And they'll always know where everybody is inside of the team fights. You pop Hunt, we know where everything is. They even have an extra vision aspect with the Wave of Terror. So they're going to be able to look to take those fights and set up for FY to have these perfect black holes. And yeah, Blink, BKB, like we said, there's no way to cancel. So he should be able to set up for the majority of times on these heroes, as long as he doesn't die during the black hole. Ramses has his status resist build finished up now. You know, Satanic plus that S and Y.
At least with that sort of HP, he's got more of a chance of surviving, but a lot of the times FY, he's pretty much always been able to get down the Midnight Pulse before.
Yep.
Which is going to help shred through these large HP targets.
And they've even, I mean, XM too, you know, we're talking about he was being a bit quiet here. He's now 6-2 and 5 on the Mirana. Oh, Mjolnir on top of the BKB. You know, those illusions, not as threatening anymore. Even though they're very tanky, they do start getting brought down pretty fast by this, what is it, the electric charge that you put on yourself.
Pasha on the puck, he's got the Aghanims done now. So they have that greater sort of team fight force. If Pasha is able to get that sort of set up with the Dream Coil. Make it very hard for any of these cores to sort of get out of there without time being bought for Ramses to just get on top of them with the army.
So there's always going to be the threat of trying to catch this Enigma before he gets his BKB off. Can they kill him? It's going to be very hard for them to kill him before he does get that off every single time. Unless the Nyx is there to get that follow-up stun every single one of the times that they do see the Enigma. But yeah, they've got everything available. Smoke's ready. Ame is pushing out that bottom lane just with his Radiance. He's actually not showing himself, but they should be very aware of that happening.
Nice Shadow used here by PSG.LGD. VP incredibly clumped up at the moment, up towards top, still under the cover of the smoke. They'll start to make the move towards the mid lane.
Gotta watch that positioning on Solo. He has to sit far behind the rest of the team, make sure he can save them with the disruption versus that black hole. Chalice reveals himself here with that Wave of Terror. Gets Atos.
Yeah, let's see if there's going to be any attempt to save him. They're going to move in with the Eye of the Storm. Chalice swap to the north. But looks like they'll let this one go, PSG.LGD. There's nothing they can do to save Chalice. They'll have to accept that the bench is gone. Actually, to the side, they find themselves another VP. They're able to catch out X-Nova hiding in the trees. They'll get a second pick-off. There's two heroes without buyback available, and Roger is already playing around with another, chasing down XM. Gets the stun, the rest of VP moving in. Can they close the gap? The body blocks here from Roger. Buys time for Solo to get in with the Demonic Purge. The disruption as well, and Ramses to close in. He's going to look towards FY. FY's able to blink up to the high ground. BKB popped by XM. Will get him far enough back away to safety. The VP, 2 kills. Those two heroes, as I said, they cannot have buyback. The BKB of XM is going to win. The illusions are upon him. In they go with the Q. XM's dead as well. There's 3 heroes dead now. No buybacks available on them. As VP, they've got the creep wave in the middle lane. They can push on. PSG.LGD, they do have the Haunt and the BKB Black Hole, but it's just FY and Ame left to try and defend here at the moment.
And now we see that Aghanim's Razor coming into play. As soon as they get these heroes, this is now their way for them to take these objectives, take these towers down.
They've got the sieging potential indeed, as they should at least get a set of racks out of this one. That's VP. They don't need to back up for now. They'll get the range racks. Surely they'll stick around for the melee racks here. They certainly will. So VP. Are they going to finish it off though? FY's jumping in. No one's going to be careful. They split immediately. The racks does go down. Black Hole's going to be used. Holding no one in place during the BKB. VP, they've got to just get out of here. Let no one die. You've got the racks. You got what you came for. Just make sure nobody else suffers. As they're retreating, but the vision there for the glimpse on Solo. They'll go for a defensive disruption, but he's surrounded by the entirety of PSG.LGD. They'll get Solo too. But these two heroes, they do have buybacks, so it's going to be questionable how much PSG.LGD can do in reaction to that, and they lost their racks. VP got what they came for.
And XM bought back. I think his respawn was almost finished, and he actually bought back as soon as the fight comes out from FY.
They need this rush.
They need this rush, yeah.
And VP knows that they need this rush. There's going to be a buyback from Solo. No one holding on to his buyback for now.
They've got no hole available, but they've got their haunt still.
There we go. He's committing. He knows that PSG.LGD, with that buyback use, they're desperate to get this Aegis and cheese. And VP, they don't want to let them have it. There's no black hole, of course, but still, Horn is there. It's 28-16, 9k lead, and a full set of racks up. VP getting back on track and continuing to have Ramses very far ahead of the game. 18k net worth on this PL. So we'll get back in and see how the fight ensues around this Roshan. Both teams are going to be for sure throwing a lot of resources into trying to control this. And they have to be careful, both of them. No one's... Now he's got no buyback, and so is XM. Each side could risk losing their mid laner.
Yep. They're just not at risk of it. Ooh, no one gets hurt by that arrow there.
Ooh, he's quite far away, though. They won't be able to get to him, and the Roshan is just... It's melting to Ramses. There's another pause comes
Looks like so, yeah, looked like there's some lag coming in there.
Well, I think that's sort of the feature, isn't it? When you throw a dagger into the pit and suddenly see all the PL illusions, it's like, oh, hang on. And then you get a bit of the lag. Let's see. VP, they're very close to finishing off the Roche, but we saw this before, and Horn is there.
Yeah, no black hole, though. That's the big threat. They just don't want to be clumped up too much. They do have the BKB, of course, on the Razor, but nobody else actually does, so the Disruptor ulti can still be a bit of a problem.
Let's see. FY outside the pit. Doesn't quite have the black hole. They get the vision inside of it. FY's trying to head in. The stun actually going to miss there. It's the Hawk play. They'll move it. FY wants the BKB. The static so down. Who's going to get the Roshan? That's the question. Ramses, he's able to pick it up. Now they look to turn, but they've lost no one. No one's dead for 2 minutes. Ramses is incredibly low as well. PSG.LGD moving, jump forward. That's going to be the Aegis gone. Out of the hands of Ramses. Can they kill him a second time? Roger's trying to have a cheese. Gets XM back up to full before Roger can get the final hit in. As VP, they've got to try and make sure they don't lose anyone else, but Roger's already dead. PSG.LGD, they've got the full lineup alive and 90 seconds without no one ready to defend.
FY just walks into the pit. Doesn't matter if he doesn't have the black hole. He actually had the Midnight Pulse clipping on the sidelines. And like we said, Static Storm is still an issue for the rest of them. We see X-Nova, he just blankets that Roche pit completely with his ulti. So it makes it a lot harder for them to actually do anything there. And yeah, the cheese was taken. Sure, they got the Aegis, but no one is dead. He is dead for 70 seconds.
VP. How can they hold this? It's going to be tricky. But the pushing power that PSG.LGD's lineup have, they should be able to hit back and at least take something for losing their own set of racks earlier. The fortification is out. Ramsey's starting to spam up with the illusions.
Scary thing is that Black Hole, Black Hole's going to be coming back up very soon now for FY. Sure, Haunt's down for about 40 more seconds. And look at Ame. You see what he's doing there? He's turning off the Radiance constantly because that Nyx Assassin, he knows he can get stunned up on that high ground. It could be a bit of a threat there. So Ame playing it smart. They get the smart.
Ramses! He's stuck! And the Static's not looking to get him out! There's going to be the defensive disruption. Can he get out in time? He's trying to run. He will. He'll be able to get the doppler off. Solo's able to save him in time with that disruption. We'll keep Ramses from going down. PSG.LGD also falling a little low as Solo was able to do quite a fair bit there. Getting the poison out upon them, and that will stop the push and get PSG.LGD pushed back away from VP's base. No one's going to be back up in 10 seconds.
Jesus, that was scary. I think the black hole was coming up any second after that disruption went off FY. Now it does have it available. Such a swing of momentum. These Roche pit fights are absolute chaos. And when you have chaos and you have a Spectre, you're definitely feeling pretty nice about it. Ame, he's not going for the heart this game. He's actually going for BKB himself so that he doesn't have to worry about all this chain disable and lockdown that comes out from the side of from VP. And also just the mana burn too can be pretty annoying as a Spectre versus PL.
6k back ahead. Ramses very closing in on the butterfly. They're very much going to be ready to try and go for a second set of racks soon, VP. There's still those two big ults they have to be very aware of. Even the Static Storm, as we're seeing as well, Solo's always got to be ready to provide that safety with the disruption. One of his cores gets locked down without a BKB charge ready to pop.
Roger just constantly trying to give as much information for his team as possible, and VP, they look like they're a bit stunted here after these last few plays. They're finishing up their next items, but there's no, the Razor, no one, doesn't have this buyback available. He just has to buy his next item. Definitely looking scary as, you know, they're playing versus the Spectre, Haunt plus BKB Enigma. That's just this looming threat inside of every single one of these team fights. Who do you actually go on if you are VP? They have to find a way to get FY in the backline to get some type of chain stun before he's able to get it. They have to get information of where this Enigma is in the fights.
There's just so much counter initiation from PSG.LGD's lineup. VP, they have to make the commitment clean and quick.
And they still don't, they only have the one BKB too, so it's like the static storm, like I was mentioning, it still is a threat versus the rest of the heroes on the team. If they get clipped by it at all, that silence really could be the difference maker between them saving one of their big cores in the Moonlight Shadow. GD, they have momentum pushing in through that mid lane. The side lanes are in an okay spot as well right now, and Ame, he can deal with those side lanes, and then he can just haunt in.
PSG.LGD just every time being prepared to catch anybody that heads out alone from VP's base, but VP aren't falling for it. Anytime that they see that PSG.LGD's off the map, they just get up to the high ground. They're not going to be caught outside the base, as it seems. Playing it smart. Ideally, PSG.LGD just want to get that tier 2 down on the bottom lane. Open up the opportunity for, if they do get a fight, the chance to take multiple sets of racks away from VP.
Yeah. I mean, LGD is just looking to fight at any time here. As long as they've got the 3 or 4 heroes playing together and Ame separate, then they can definitely look to take all of these, because VP, they just don't have the solution to this Enigma, who's approaching, actually pretty much has Refresher finished up on FY2. So that one of those Blink BKB black holes is a problem, and 2 of them is, it's going to be overwhelming for VP to deal with. Roger. He's standing on this Arcane, but he's standing under vision. They have sentries. They saw him for a moment.
The dust will spook him away as well. But Roger was able to pick up the Arcane Rune before hiding back. XM, DD, Rune bottled and ready to pop for the next fight.
He's hitting hard now. Especially if he's next to the Venge. Without Venge, he's with plus 143 with a Daedalus. So with the Venge near him plus a DD, this is going to be a Mirana that can't be ignored inside of the fights. And there's just so many, like we were saying, there's so many chaos things and so many things you have to be concerned about from the side of LGD. This Mirana might actually be able to do so much inside the fights, because you're just so worried about Enigma, so worried about Spectre, so worried about Static Storm.
Still, even though VP do have the network lead, they're definitely in the more sort of fragile position.
Absolutely.
They didn't want this game to go 41 minutes against Ame Spectre, that's for sure. As the difficulty's only going to get higher. One mistake and game and tournament dream for VP could be over.
In a game like this as well, just so scary how it's set up. Roger, he's keeping tabs on Ame here. He has his 2 cores rotating over, but this is a BKB on this Spectre, so if he is able to get it off, and he should be fine. But nah, Roger's just gonna give him the poke. They could have the damage to kill him though with those 2, because they do have the bots as well on the puck, and of course that break mechanic that comes in from the Vendetta could be very useful if he's able to get it off on Ame early.
Pasha able to shove the wave out on the bottom at least. You have another wave quickly coming in though, and I was only able to get him down to half health actually, so PSG.LGD can keep that pressure on.
VP's gonna start, they're gonna start losing the net worth lead soon, because they're under so much pressure of coming outside of the base. They can't actually take this head-on fight. They have try to get a pick off before the fight starts to just have the numbers, because they just can't fight versus Spectre and Enigma. It's way too much.
Really feel that both teams don't want to make that brash movement, as at this point the team that looks to initiate is sort of almost more likely to be the team that will lose the team fight unless they get that instant kill on a core.
It's just patience from both sides. VP not wanting to make a move, LGD same thing. But LGD now, they do get tabs. They have a ward over here too, so they do get full information of where VP is, and now they want to take this fight.
They get the swap. Ooh, immediately, Pasha, he able to react. They do now turn towards Chalice. Dreamcore's going to go down just onto the Venge, though. Let's see if they can even kill off Chalice. They'll surround him. He's still alive in FY. You can see him on the backlines. He's making sure that the rest of them can't get into the fight. They've got Chalice. They'll lose solo. 1 for 1 at the moment. In between the 2. Black Hole's going to be used. Onto the bottom of it. They're able to cancel it. Sending him up into the air. VP still good to go. Dagon from Pasha. Burst down. FY to buy back on this Enigma. Pasha, he finds the third. This punk going rampant in the fight. The BKB is going to end pretty soon as well. But he's trying to turn jump over XM. The black hole. The black hole. He's done it. F1. It's beautiful. Ramses is still alive. Pasha's pulled back. Ramsey's very low at the moment. They'll chase him up to the high ground. I guess another dagger out. He's got to be a little careful himself. He's very low. But FY there, coming in and turning around a fight that was absolutely going VP's way. FY just keeping it cool in a game that's had so many sort of slowdowns and pauses.
He just had so much gold. I think he was sitting at like 7,000 or more. He buys back, buys the full refresher, pops it, jumps back into the fight before VP is aware. Yeah, that was perfectly done there by FY. VP though, I actually think it was Chalice double swapped the puck. When he did he swapped him into that static storm and then swapped him again. So I think he just was like, oh, oops. I think he was trying to get him when like the orb play happened, but a little bit of a mistake of that initial setup. Costed his team a couple of those kills. But FY with the salvage. Chalice. Talking Pasha a bit.
Buyback's Pasha. He's got the sentry down. Anybody with him to help him get the kill? Doesn't look like it. Missile easy dodge, now Solo's able to turn it, but FY and XM are by Chalice's side. Roger heads in, Schwab's going to be there, but it's going to put FY in a very dangerous position. FY pops the BKB, do it towards Roger, BKB committed by Arma, he's on top of the Nix assassin, Roger trying to get away, but Ramses is in, the bashes are there, he'll surround the P, can they kill the Spectre, can they kill him, he's up to the high ground, Arma trying to TP out, can he get away, can Arma will escape, but FY and Chalice now dead without buybacks. As in that situation, maybe you got to say, Chalice, you got to keep yourself behind, but swapping FY back in, that means both of them are dead.
And maybe FY thought that he could get maybe like the BKB Shadow Blade off or something like that, but he just gets purged and he just got focus fired. That was, oops. Bit of a suicide play coming out from LGD, and VP's happy with that. They did have to buy back though on no one to have to look to take that fight. And now Roche is up, and this is the most important Roche of the game as we have that refresher shard, and LGD doesn't have 2 heroes.
That's added, especially the fact that you put in mind that VP, they're going to get these elements of Roshan. 3 heroes do not have buyback for 5 minutes. The bottom lane, Pasha, he's finding so much action. XM's got to be careful. He'll turn with the arrow. He does do a lot of damage. Whoa! But Pasha, up into the skies he goes. Gets the kill on XM. No buyback for 5 minutes and a half.
They've got the refresher shard too, and they've got a Razor with an Eye of the Storm with Aghanims. He even has the interval too, so this double Eye of the Storm could look to actually take down these buildings so fast versus LGD. What a back and forth game.
There we go.
They're committing for tier 4s. They identify those buybacks aren't there.
They know that they're not there. BKB immediately popped by no one. He's got the Eye of the Storm out. The double Eye of the Storm, of course, as he's starting to melt through these heroes. Arme will commit forth though onto no one. They do get the drag back. No one's falling pretty low. No one, he's dead. They've got the agent for the second life. X-Nova being surrounded by Ramses and Pasha. Arme also died. They get the break here. Arme's in trouble. He's out of mana. Arme's dead. He's got buyback available on the Spectre. They'll get back into the game. Does still have the horn, but VP push on. Ramses and no one hitting the towers. Chalice rooted up. Jump forward, Pasha the dagger blood. Pasha's dead too.
FY's up. They've got Haunt. They've got their Enigma too. They've got the Black Hole.
They need another miracle here from FY. He has 2 Black Holes available. Wants to set things up. VP cannot clump up here. They have to respect the Black Hole. Already no one. Pops the cheese. He's back to the full. FY's in. It's the Black Hole just onto no one. There's going to be a defensive disruption over Solo's second Black Hole. It's being revved up by the refresher. Can FY find a target? I don't know if he can. He'll try for it, but it's only FY's dead. And they'll move back to the base. VP, they've surely done it here in this game too, as they'll hit onto the agent. GG is called. And VP will aid the Arme Spectre in a late game.
third game of the series. We've got ourselves Virtus.Pro, we've got PSG.LGD, and we're in a game 3 between the two. One of these two teams will be eliminated. We're well into the draft. We got another one of those puck heroes. Virtus.Pro gets their hands on the Pangolier. Strong openings from both sides.
Oh, dreams do come true. Game 3, Pango v Puck. This is going to be movement, death, and destruction all over the map. I am super excited.
Who's going to play the Pangolier, though? That should be a 3 position, right? I don't think Roger plays it.
I think so far it has been played by No One and Pasha this tournament. Twice by Pasha, victorious, and once by No One. They also won that one. Actually, they won a lot of games, so you know the chances that they won is pretty big.
What do you think about position 3?
I like it a lot because you do need a lot of level on this hero for sure. So you benefit, get to level 7 quickly or 6, and we've seen it mid as well, right? So it's one of the few heroes that can deal with Razors pretty easily. That hero's not been picked up yet, so maybe VP wants to pick that still. Still a really powerful hero. Saw it working super good last game. Thinking about it.
A lot of thoughts in that booth. Moxxi, Disruptor second pick.
I like this. I still like this hero a lot. I mean, we've seen it gain in popularity throughout this tournament, and it's been popular in the CIS region too.
Yep.
But it punishes any sort of bad positioning. We saw some really good glimpses coming out, and it also tests your mettle too on the other side of the enemy team here if you're able to, you know, dodge out of that glimpse fast enough, so to speak. But do get the Nature's Prophet picked up for Virtus.Pro. I like this a lot. I'm a big fan of this. Saw this a lot during the qualifiers because of the fact that, you know, it's one of those heroes that's able to be very mobile early on. You can, you know, go and teleport to other lanes. You can be very aggressive. You've got some push coming out. So I like that a lot. Right now, this draft for VP feels very, very strong to me.
Techies! Oh, please. Someone play Techies. Actually, don't. He needs a buff. Leave him out.
Very nice drawings. There are a lot of talent.
Yeah, right? These are some beautiful signs.
All right, Bulldog, you're a resident Prophet expert. Now, usually I counterpick Prophet with the Disruptor, you know? You can drag him back after he TP's out. You get good vision with his Q, the Thunder. You like the Prophet here?
Well, it's sadly enough the hero's been reduced to a position 5 too many times, and it's 99% chance going to be just a solo playing it, so you don't want to counter a position 5 hero anyway. You don't really care about that. And he's just going to be in the lane, right? Just clicking the enemy heroes, making sure Ramses gets free farm, and hopefully buy some R item, and then he's going to be at 30-40 minutes useless, pretty much. And he needs to be careful with his ultimate, because he's going to steal farm from his carries, and you don't want too much farm on solo in this game.
Oh, look at that.
Aww. That's a guy.
Oh no. Spectre warranting a ban in this one. We haven't talked too much about the big bans here, but they've been pretty standard stuff. And really the only outlier is that Lone Druid, but we know that VP's been playing that a ton.
Well, it's a Spectre, just spending out the comfort heroes right now. That doesn't necessarily mean they would pick it, but they played it 2 games in a row. Might as well just get rid of it. And the Ember as well. It's just a super fast hero. Really annoying against Prophet if they would consider playing it as a core.
You know which hero we've kind of been missing this entire series?
Rasta.
10 seconds
Rasta,
remaining.
but also Leshrac.
Yeah.
2 heroes that have just been absent, not banned, not picked.
Yes, and we saw that be used very well in most of our studio days back for the big main stage. A lot of magical damage, putting in a lot of that pressure that all these teams seem to be utilizing a lot, but at the same time, oh, get them out! Escort those 2 out of the building! Heralds. Delicious.
They don't know.
They have no idea.
Oh,
Those poor
dear.
guys. They're going to watch the VOD and be quite upset. Be nice to them. So taking a long time on this next pick here.
I mean, this is it, right? This is a big game.
Kinda.
Kind of big. If you lose, you're out. It's kind of big.
Kinda. Absolutely.
You love stuff like this, Flax. Both of you do.
Great.
I want to see them lose.
Radiant team.
Both of them.
Oh, God.
Real sickos. All right. PA actually warranting a ban after, even though the Magnus is already out, but that might reveal some stuff to us. That might reveal that they are scared of having that early game, and maybe they want to split up that team fight a little bit.
We still see the bat not being banned out this time around, so there's a high possibility that we can just see a bat. Should be kind of okay against the Prophet if you want to do that in the laning stage.
Wait,
Dire team
Sap
pick.
just pointed out something interesting. Oracle still in the pool?
That's right.
Oracle ignored.
These
Like,
teams
wait.
don't want to heal and save people. They want to kill Sheever. Things
right.
needs to die.
But it's Oracle.
No healing here.
Oracle
you can play him
has
as a
been
nuker,
picked
too.
28 games, has won 71% of those. That's a lot.
The meta changed with
Guys,
Sheever.
did they just forget it?
They have not forgotten, Sheever. You know what I'm actually interested in too is Brewmaster is managing to survive this time as well. And both these teams valuing team fights a lot, yet not really valuing it enough to ban out Brew this game. It seems like they both really have their plans. Doom, though, I gotta admit, not the most impressive pick from what we've seen so far today.
Oh, there he is. There's the roster you're talking about, Bulldog.
Yes, finally, he's back. And it seems to be Roger, right? That should be Roger.
Should be.
And that means that Pangolin will be a core this game. And this his hero with farm is so scary. We've seen DJ playing it a lot, and he just like wins games for him. And just so good at taking towers early. I just love this hero.
Especially in the hands of somebody like Roger. They finally let him out of the cage. He has a hero that he can actually do things on instead of just be that hard support.
Yeah.
Now, they open themselves up to a little bit of split push action with Prophet and Shaman pressuring those towers early game. This I like.
It's really good because you usually go Etherlands on this hero as well, so you should have him be able to kill a puck now as well. I mean, that's literally hero. Just do a long range hex or just hold him down. And since it is a position 4, he will probably get a dagger eventually as well, so puck will have to struggle this game.
It also opens up the possibility, too, of like really easy split pushing, depending on if a fight's not going super well or whatnot, or if, you know, you've seen a lot of, usually it's on the side of the Radiant, you know, the Shadow Shaman making his way through the top of the Dire Woods, trying to put some pressure on towers, and of course with the Nature's Prophet on board, too, it makes it really easy for him to just dip over there and start pushing along with him. So, a couple options on the board here for Virtus.Pro, and I like it. I like it a lot.
Hey.
Now, still need a nice frontliner for PSG.LGD. I mean, Doom, of course, is traditionally a tanky boy. Can be all right on that, but I'd like to see somebody really be able to jump into those fights.
I mean, they have a Puck, and Puck's going to be good to get in the middle of everything, and then hopefully Doom picks himself up a Blink Dagger. So you've got that mobility coming out. You've also got a Disruptor who can kind of glimpse anyone who's, you know, maybe a little bit lagging behind there and start a fight.
Right, but Puck wants to go in and kill somebody quick. They need somebody to sustain.
Whoa!
Talk about sustain. Here we go. Naga, Siren, and there's
And the Brewmaster.
Finally.
All right.
So we see the Naga. We don't see the hero a lot. The hero been completely reworked how it kind of works. And, you know, it's just all about the illusions. It lasts way shorter now, so you kind of want to man up with them and fight that short period of time. But then we see the Brewmaster who's just going to dispel those illusions. And if Naga doesn't have those illusions, she's going to be useless. So this is a little bit worrisome. And, you know, the web is kind of good against Pangolier as well. So they have that.
But at the same time, Pangolier can be okay against Naga as well. She really counts on those illusions, doing this massive burst damage, and a nice rollout from Pangolier should be able to kind of slow her down in that critical moment where she could get those big kills.
Yeah, we've seen Naga Siren once before. This tournament was during the group stages for PSG.LGD. They were victorious with it against NIP, but
10 seconds
I wouldn't
remaining.
say it was a deciding factor.
Yeah.
What about the reset that comes out from a Naga Siren, though? That could be pretty, like, potentially really, really good for them. Being able to either disengage or re-engage, and then the other thing is they've got kind of high cooldowns, right, with the Doom and the Song of the Siren.
Yeah, but it's also worse than if as long as Brewmaster gets his ult off, he can just maybe catch someone if they're trying to run away easily. But what I'm most worried about is LGD, who's FI playing. I don't feel like he can kind of carry. If he's playing the Doom, I don't feel like FI is going to be able to carry with a hero like that. Or the Puck, so maybe if he plays Puck, a little bit unsure about that.
All right, Medusa banned out. So, makes sense that they don't want to go into the hyper late game and have some decent mid game to slow them down. Of course, Illusions kind of take a hit with that Mystic Snake as well, so Naga Siren would be affected by that quite heavily.
Yeah, and Medusa doesn't really care about getting Doom too much. She's that tanky, beefy hero, so she can just stand her ground a little bit and ban that out.
One thing we have to keep in the backs of our minds is that we have seen Ramses play Brewmaster, and when we asked him about it, he said that it's something that they thought was really good.
Yes.
And they wouldn't mind doing again in the future, so perhaps they can surprise pick some extra core here as well, extra no one hero.
And they can pick still something like Morphling. It's a little bit, you don't see the enemy mid carry though, so it could be a little bit scary. So either you put like a hyper strong carry mid now, or you just put Pangolier there, Brewmaster off, and take the Ramses hero now.
Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Yeah, there we go.
There's a Terrorblade.
Oh boy. Terrorblade carry against all this damage. I mean, PSG.LGD needs to jump on somebody and destroy them quick. Terrorblade's abilities, ooh, I don't know, my guys. Gonna have to be one hell of a last pick for me on LGD.
Terrorblade looking really strong here because he's got the Pangolier and Brewmaster just in the middle of the fight, creating space for him where he can just stand and hit. And to get to the Terrorblade, you have to go through those two heroes, which is not going to be easy. So this is a really good Terrorblade pick for sure. And his lane might be kind of rough, but we always expect that from Terrorblade. He just hits the jungle, gets that super farm, gets the Manta and Scat or something like that, and then you just come out and you kill everyone. That's kind of scary.
And a Pugna pick up here. The final pick for PSG.LGD.
Okay, I can see that. Nice little burst damage for the early game against Terrorblade and try to blow him up, and provides them with a little bit of a counter tower push. Pretty good against Prophet too.
It's good with the Dagon as well. Potential burst on the Terrorblade and Brewmaster, because both of these heroes kind of want to get their ults off before they die.
Bulldog, do you believe in the Pugna Naga Siren 4 combo?
We've seen VP lose the first game and win the next two every time.
Almost every time.
Every time.
Almost every time.
Every time.
Every time.
So I'm just going to go with VP, obviously. Every time.
What do you think, Moxxi?
I like VP's draft a lot. I think they look really, really strong. I mean, XM looked great on that Pugna last time, but I just don't see the FY hero on that, and that's kind of been the playmaking thing that turns things around, makes space. And, you know, Virtus.Pro, like you said, you got a lot of chaos with that Pango, you got a Terrorblade. I'm on board.
Are you on board?
Oh, I want to go LGD because I feel like the Naga is pretty good against Pangolier, but at the same time, hero kills don't matter in this game. It's all about ancient kills, tower kills, Rax kills. They got Terrorblade, Prophet, and Shaman. We're going to see a lot of buildings die. VP for me.
VP for me as well.
Oh, no, Steve, I want to be done.
No.
We have already debunked the whole Jinx scenario, so
Okay.
MVP vote, remember to do it during the game, and let's head to the third game of the series with ODpexil and Fogged.
Thank you very much, Sheever. Yes, game 3 ready to go. Virtus.Pro up against LGD. Let's see what they've got between the two of them this time round. As we're seeing a bit of a different approach. It's not going to be a late game Spectre. It's going to be an Arme Naga Siren. We do not see this hero that much nowadays. And in the core position, it's been tried, you know, over sort of the past few months by some teams, but never really a hero you can expect to see on the regular.
Yeah, LGD did win with it, of course, in those group stages versus NIP. And they have some cool stuff here. So if there's combo, of course, Naga Disruptor, we've seen that one, you know, ad nauseum, of course, when a newbie was playing it. But they have also a combo. So the Naga is playing here versus the Shadow Shaman, right? So if the Shadow Shaman's setting up to get these pushes, you can pick and choose when you want to take your fights, but also you can sleep, you kill all the Serpent Wards, you're going to have a pretty good team fight advantage versus the side of VP if you are able to take those around like that. And Ramses, they actually pick, for a long time it was actually VP. They used to pick the Doom versus the Terrorblade to deal with him, because you just ult him inside the fights. It makes it so much harder for him to get any type of Sunder or anything off there. And this time they just picked the TB into the Doom. So a little bit of an interesting thing coming out there from VP, just wanting themselves to have some more tower push on top with that Shadow Shaman, I guess.
Excited to see as well how much no one can do on the mid Pango. We see this hero have, I feel like when we see it in the mid lane, it just has such a better time compared to when we see it on the side lane. Like, this hero can absolutely pop off with early levels. Up top, Ramses going to try and take the rune. We are going to see FY is able to take it away from him, though. Ramses not able to quite grab it in time.
So we have seen the Pangos pop off in the mid lane, but it's always that concern, right? He's versus the puck. So see what can happen if you are not wary of that puck coil. Also, I just wanted to talk about XM as well. His Pugna performance in that game was phenomenal. The first one of this series. And this one, it looks like he could be able to do quite a lot here too, being able to just be that tower pressure for his team. And also, he's very annoying for Shadow Shaman to deal with inside of the team fights. You drop your wards and the Nether ward is down, you actually pretty much kill yourself. And Roger is just taunting him a little bit there with some boot drops.
He's not letting X-Nova get towards that bottom lane. He's making sure that he's kept far away from Arme, in terms of trying to keep Arme safe and providing that backup for the Naga Siren, as all these body blocks so low.
Whoa.
Very nice, getting a lot of damage down onto Chalice because of that.
I love the item build too. The Blightstone this time on solo. He looks at these heroes. He's like, it's a Doom. Doom has 0 armor. You put him negative. These treants, they can't actually trade too well for them versus them. So you see LGD, they're already starting to just going for the pull. Just got to deal with changing the lane equilibrium so you don't actually lane versus this Nature's Prophet. That was first 2 picked.
Yeah, I feel like we've just seen how, you know, the Prophet support is just so strong. Just how easily you can trade harass and just solo pushing out 2 heroes.
Now look how much he hits for each time with that Blightstone with his treants.
You have 2 arrows trying to poke at him, but he's just going to trade easily back, and FY, he's got to be careful. It's so much damage from these right clicks. As FY forced to salve on this top lane. Solo continuing to trap it down. Chalice does now have the level 2.
Oh, they might be able to get him this time.
Yeah, with the stomp, they'll close the gap. And Solo has got a fair fight. Could try and deny it to neutrals, but is he going to get there? Time Scorch Serve should do it. And it will. Chalice gets first blood. That'll put an end to the irritation of Solo.
But look at the Terrorblade's last hits. He caused so much problems there that Ramsey just gets a full free farm in that top lane as a TB. And he did have to use the meta in the beginning there, but still okay as he gets 10 and 8 off the start here. So mid lane, we saw the glance there. Should be a bit of a tough time there for no one. He's going to get bullied very hard by XM in this lane.
Spot him. X-Nova. And Roger going at one another. Arme will be there to back up X-Nova and try and chase down for this kill. X-Nova salving up. Does get another Thunderstrike out to Roger. That should be the kill. He has the 3 stick charges. So that's enough to save him. He'll get himself
1
over
HP.
to the neutrals and will be able to deny himself. Roger.
Actually 1 HP off of that last tick there.
So able to take that at least away from LGD getting that kill. And yeah, having this Terrorblade have this solid start at the top. I mean, as you say, you know, the sort of all parts of the game, the Doom definitely has an effect against the TB, including the laning stage. So Solo can do what he can to make sure that Chalice can't get entirely in the face of this Terrorblade early on. Ramses is going to be happy.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary mid game for the TB. He pretty much can't show up to a lot of these fights. As you know, you don't really see your TB showing up a lot, but he's playing versus Pugna, who's one of the harder counters versus Terrorblade at the majority stages of the game, and Puck and Doom. These heroes, they provide a lot of magic damage, and just the silence versus it.
Solo does get caught out though. He'll die. Ramses with the metas, trying to fight back. Doesn't quite manage to finish off FY's. FY's able to hide in the trees. Chalice as well, taking quite a punching. Ramses will chase forward, and Solo's back in. TP's forward, gets the hit off. It's enough. Sets up for the kill. Ramses with that meta gets that bonus goal from taking Chalice out of the lane. FY will go for the quick trip back to the base.
Picks up his boots afterwards. And here we see this, Radeon attempt at the pull. The hard camp wasn't able to get it there this time, but they're going to keep trying this one. This is one of the big reasons Radeon is very strong, in particular in that safe lane. And they will get the secondary pull, at least on that creep wave. Mid, XM. Oh, that's a nice rune. And no one's probably not too happy about that one. Regen on the Pugna. Yeah, he gives him a tip. No one even preemptively checked the bottom rune to try to fill up his bottle.
Getting unlucky there with the RNG. VP's lineup, with these 2 cores, having the Brew and the Pango, you can imagine what when they hit their 6s, they're going to look to fight. And it's all this sort of chaos and control that they can offer in the team fight so that Ramses can sort of stand tall with the meta and push on when it gets to that mid game.
Yeah, it's FY if he's not going to be level 6 by the time they hit their level 6s, right? So he's the one that really messes up their kind of combo there. It also can be Ame, though. The sleep can be something we can look at where he can just sleep and they can just look to reset versus those big ultimates that do come out from the side of VP. Ame's getting pressured a little bit here, but we'll be just fine under the tower.
Start to see no one.
He wants to fill up his bottle, yeah.
Yeah, see if he can do anything with the regeneration of those bottle charges, but no, looks like he's going to just return straight back towards the mid lane. Solo will TP in as well, just get some of the XP as that lane continues to get shoved into the tower by XM. Constantly keeping that pressure on, making sure that VP pay the price anytime that no one leaves that lane.
It's a free farm. Full free farm Pugna. I mean, he's level 6 already. Can definitely put some pressure on pretty much any of the lanes. He wants to get this tower probably with this catapult wave, which could be a possibility. We see no one. He's showing up to make sure that can't happen.
Ooh, up top. Trying an attempt on Ramses here. Diving in underneath the tower. Chalice and FY, they want to commit for this one and they'll get it. Diving in, getting the kill on the TB. Solo. Try and trade back onto FY, but a quick phase shift disjointing the The attack's flying in, he's out of there.
We're seeing this aggressive style again coming out from the Doom, the skill build in particular that we saw last night as well, going for the 2 points in the Scorched Earth. Maybe even maxing it again. We saw them doing that yesterday, actually, where they were... I mean, it does a lot of damage. It's a different kind of approach here.
This mid-tier 1 tower, it's going to go down very early at this rate. As VP seems to have nothing that they can do to really keep this Pugner off the tower. They'll put the fortification, see if no one can get the deny. It's going to be hard. There were 3 heroes. In fact, no one's in trouble. He has to get her out immediately. So they'll get the tower. No deny from VP.
I think he just goes run top immediately as the Pugna. Just keep putting pressure on the lane. He might have to shrine before... Oh, he actually finds a bottled invis. He'll be able to bottle that invis. But yeah, go to the Tower Blades lane, try to hunt him, take his tower, and then get the invasive ward so you can keep tabs of where Ramses is. They actually do see him down bottom right now with the ward they placed. Farming those Ancients. So XM, he's looking to just go for this tower here. Solo might actually just be a free kill for him first.
So with the grab fight, the drain is more than enough damage to take out the Prophet. So that'll open up for that space and pressure to be put on that top lane.
FY is just soaking experience here.
As already we're seeing how proactive XM's going to be on the map.
Yep.
Shutting down areas that VP are going to want to have hoped to have Ramses be able to safely farm in, but losing the outer tier 1 towers is going to make the space for this Terror Blade much more limited.
Yeah, he's the key to that early pressure. And already those 2 towers with the first catapult waves. Both of those first catapults take out the tier 1s, and Chalice already having a great game, secures last hit on tower. Top of that net worth by quite a sizable margin, and also full drums now. Phase drum. He can also look to play around with his Pugna. They're just very speedy heroes now, being able to put the pressure on, and they already got the ward down, so they have tabs of where Ramses is. I keep almost saying C-Deck because he's tagged up to C-Deck. So it's so close.
I'm going to trick you with his name there. So XM. So far, XM certainly having good impact with the way that he's able to lane. They did give him that favorable match, having the Pango against it. VP will have expected that XM was going to have a good start to the game. They just got to find plays to sort of get favorable trades in terms of giving that mid lane up. They'll get to push on down bottom, Solo and Roger, taking this tier 1 tower, but top lane, they're getting pressure put onto the tier 2. They'll TP back for this.
They don't have deep push on the side of VP at all, so whenever they do set up for these type of plays, they have to commit both ultis to go for XM here. I mean, they need to get this kill.
It is a big one if they can get it. He's going to continue to run away. They'll send him up with the Wind Pound and bring him straight back down into the stun. Ramses will come across and he's not even needed. The 2 of them get the job done. Pasha and no one. With those ultimates, as you say, there are going to be ways that PSG.LGD can put a stop to those fights, but when it comes to finding pickoffs, there's not a lot you can do to hold back the Rolling Thunder and the Primal Split chasing you down.
Ame's okay with this. He's not actually farming that great in this game. He is bottom 5 net worth as this Naga Siren. The pressure that came out from the Brewmaster as well as that Shadow Shaman. That makes sense. Shadow Shaman is one of those super strong laners that just gets those denies and really messes with the carries farm all the time. Surprising to see it so slowed down, at least from Ame. They'll start to catch up. That's the, when you have this type of skill build on the Naga Siren, you just send your mirror images and they can do the work for you with that Riptide. Pasha, Vlad was finished up earlier, but no Brew Split now. But oh my, Roger, we'll be okay. XM just wants to take out this last tier 1, so he's parked down here. They're even rotating the rest of their heroes. They have the level 6s on the supports. They don't just yet. Both the Disruptor as well as the Puck on LGD. VP also not having their 6s on their supports.
Not really in VP's best interest to try and answer to this tier 1 push. Just try and find as much as they can in the other lanes whilst PSG.LGD are grouped up down here as 4. They have no one continuing to push out the middle lane. Top lane, Solo's able to find a bit of farm as well. We'll try and get some pressure onto PSG.LGD's top tier 1 tower. Still, it's certainly the game plan rolling out. PSG.LGD taking all tier 1 towers at the 10-minute mark.
Yep. XM is, he's doing it like it's this cookie cutter, lineup that or cookie cutter play coming out from the Pugna. He's just like, okay, first catapult wave mid, first catapult wave top, go bottom, take out that last tier 1. They have this deep vision up. They can keep looking to make plays onto Ramses when they know the Brew Split and the Pango ult are down. But instead of making a play there, they go for an objective.
And no one standing on the high ground there, eyeing up if anyone does end up walking in.
They've
The
got
smoke from Solo and Roger. They want to try and set something up around this mid lane.
We have a couple sixes coming out now. The supports, we see FY on the puck is 6 and also Solo on the Nature's Prophet. I think the FY puck one, though, is much larger because they just have this crazy amount of team fight now that comes out and just nullifies the Pango's potential. And now they even have X-Nova, too. We don't have the Shadow Shaman at level 6 yet, though, on the side of VP. Oh, yeah, sorry. He just hit it. Sorry, he just got the tome.
Smoked up. And set up around the mid lane, but PSG.LGD not yet gearing up to try and push him for a tier 2. They're happy to reset. They know that they've got this early sort of gold off the map by taking those early towers.
And Ame is just going to be able to get that farm faster and faster as he gets those levels on Naga Siren. And his Doom and Pugner are just doing great. They don't have Song to be able to clear out these wards, but they do have a lot of ranged heroes to attempt to do so. And they will actually take them all out, the Glimpse.
And just catch Roger in the kinetic field. XM stepping forward. No one's going to be there. Turns with a swashbuckle. Roger gets nuked down, though, by the orb. Now no one's trying to strike back. Jumps in with the wrong stuff, but there's the coil holding this Pango in place. They're still coming in with the primal split. They're on top of X-Nova. They'll find at least the disruptor kill in return. Back towards the river. Chalice tried to go in on Solo, but Solo turns with the Sprout. The Metamorphosis is up as well from Ramsey. Diving past the tower. It's 2 more kills for no one. Chalice, he's got to be careful too. He's very low. Swashbuckle's going to be back up in a second. In he goes. Silence the clap from Pasha. VP, they take 4. And Ramses, he doesn't die. He did get doomed, but he was able to live through it. And now they'll push on with the remainder of that Metamorphosis and at least take this tier 1 tower mid.
They don't have anything to do with this Bruce split. Pasha just did so much. Solo actually doing the most damage in the fight, but Pasha was able to pretty much zone everything. You saw Chalice, he got the Doom off, but he doesn't have any backup because of this Brewmaster that just zoned the entire team of LGD. They don't have the way to deal with it at all.
Yeah, the team fight at this point is just so strong from VP. Yeah. And off the back of that favorable fight, that's going to be the Midas picked up by Pasha, so he can now accelerate into these bigger items as he scales on.
They need to pretty much get this Doom on this Brewmaster for them to win these team fights. That was without, Ame really, he can't really contribute too much in comparison. VP,
not at the moment.
Their heroes can actually contribute. This Naga Siren doesn't really want to fight until a bit later on. Until what? Like it's still the Diffusal Manta build, I'm assuming, right? I actually didn't get to see the one game that Ame did play it.
He's got the 3 Wraith bands, and yeah, he's queuing up the Asher, so I'd imagine that's the way. Yeah. That we've seen at least definitely some of the other players when they do play the carry Naga Siren. Top lane PSG.LGD again ready to look back towards that tier 2 top as XM shoves in the top lane. So it does feel like every time that the PSG.LGD go for these moves, trying to push what they do find Roger.
How did Roger get there?
And well, but however he got there, he's certainly not getting out the same way as they'll finish him off. I say they taking them quite a bit of time.
There we go.
They will get him as Roger goes, but it's every time we see PSG.LGD group up and go for this, they have 4 heroes here, and you can see the net worth difference. VP have a 1k lead despite losing all those tier 1 towers early on. It just feels like VP, they're getting a lot done individually across the map when they know exactly where PSG.LGD's lineup is.
Yeah, they're able to get this deep vision constantly from the Nature's Prophet, which is kind of unsuspected. You see he already has like pretty good vision actually of whatever LGD wants to do, and that gives Ramses just a great time. And now they've got the Bruce split available again for VP, and they've got the Pango ulti, so they can look to take fights versus the side of LGD. Now they do have Ame with Sleep though. That's a bit of a difference maker because now he can actually get involved to set up for Static Storm. Because in that last fight, the coil went out on top of that Pangolier, but then X-Nova just walked into melee range and started the Static Storm that didn't really do much at all inside of the fights.
And I want your thoughts on this one. Ame, he's got the Midas on the Naga Siren.
Oh, he went for the Midas this game.
Are you a fan? Be honest with me, Fox.
I don't like the item at all in particular, so not the biggest fan here. Maybe feeling like he wants to be able to get to these levels and everything to keep up, but now that's just going to make him delayed to be able to join the party at all.
Sure, I mean, I guess it says they want to play the late game, but there's a Terra plane. I mean, the rest of his lineup, they're ready to go and push. The Pugner's going, the Doom's going. This Naga Siren's not going to be going for quite a while.
Yeah, no.
He's playing the long game, Ame. We'll see if it pays off.
He is going to go back for the normal build afterwards, but yeah, this is going to delay it a little bit here. It's not even the fastest Midas ever. He went for it after his Tread triple Wraith bands. Maybe just wanting. I think it has to just be for the levels for him to get those. Like,
I guess so.
Yeah. I mean, sure, it provides you that extra farm, but they've got the blink on Chalice. This is actually pretty crucial here for LGD to be able to get, and if they can find the Brewmaster, that's the most important thing for them. But the smoke is out from VP at the moment.
Just like Axe.
PSG.LGD. See if they can get Chalice in. on top of a target. As long as Pasha stays...
They got vision now. That smoke wears off. They have the high ground vision here.
They've got to be careful with that Bruce positioning.
They're going to back off.
Yeah, they know that this is giving time for PSG player from right. Chalice will jump forward. He's able to come through the trees, and that's going to be a commitment onto Solo. Primal Split's able to come out, and no one has the Rolling Thunder. Good to go for the side with the Static Storm and the Tomb. Everything thrown down onto the Pangolier to stop him from getting that Rolling Thunder off. The Dream Code down onto two of them, but now the Sprout's out to Chalice. They'll burst him low with the Illusory Orb. Will no one survive through this damage? He's still alive for now. Back towards the lane. Arme has turned up for the fight. Infernal Blade down onto Roger. They'll kill off the Shadow Shaman. Solo healed up by the Meg. The Song of the Siren coming out. Arme's going to be able to move in onto the two of them. Nova's very low. They do have the Storm and the Orb coming in. They'll burst down a second here. Ramses now has to be careful. He's got to run. They're jumping forward with the Blink, the Scorched Earth, the Root from Arme. They're holding down the Terrorblade. He has got a Sunder. Can he get it off? He cannot. That's going to be a dead Terrorblade. Pasha still trying his best to rectify this fight somehow for the side of VP. He's running down Arme. One more hit will do it, but the Infernal Blade holds him back. He'll go for the team, but the Stomp's there to cancel it. VP, they're going to lose Pasha here as well, as he cannot escape. PSG.LGD running them over there in that fight. Everything thrown down onto the Bango at the start. It pays off. No one can't get anything done. Wasn't able to get the Rolling Thunder off in time, and Arme turns up, and it pays off big time. Getting that Naga Siren involved, and he stays alive.
And they did a great job of just kiting out VP there. The Bruce Split's used, but by the time that the fight progresses, it just wears off. It's such a long duration fight, and yeah, no one wasn't able to contribute anything inside of that fight, and we see a full swap. VP had all three top net worth of their cores. Full changeover now for LGD, and I mean, the Midas is now absolutely worth it because of that whole fight that just happens. He was level 10 when he got that Midas, now level 13 after the fight with the Yasha finished up. So can't say anything against it now after a fight goes in his favor.
Absolutely not. He didn't need that 2k gold invested anywhere else. Arme knew.
Clearly not.
3 heroes now on top. Still very close. Just a 1k difference.
Definitely, he's feeling a bit scary as, you know, this is like these long cooldowns that VP has. They use their Bruce Split. They had Ramses use his meta and show up to the fight there, and they weren't able to take it at all. Because no one really has to be careful not to get coiled. If he gets coiled, he's going to get follow-up doomed. It's one or the other. Like we were saying, the lots of different forms of silences and control versus that Pangolier as well as that Brewmaster can definitely be problematic.
Just what I need.
And during that whole chase too, we see LGD, they were able to place down that deep vision as well. So they have tabs inside of that VP jungle if they do want to make any plays up there. They don't really have anything to get out of it though besides kills. We see there's, they've already taken out all those towers early on. And Ramses, he's going to be going for that SNY again. So these silences, they're going to be really damn annoying for him. He gets caught inside that Static Storm. He has nothing to protect himself with, unless the Sprout pushes him out or something crazy like that.
So Roger will drop the Serpent Waltz. He's able to get the tower. We'll see PSG.LGD try and chase down Solo. He'll hide with the Sprout. He's been Dream Cold. Not a lot that he can do to get out of this one with the 3 heroes hunting him down. So Solo will fall.
Oh, hey, look, that Centaur stop looked like it should have hit him. It's like, I guess just on the edge if it wasn't able to. The silence, Ame.
Yeah, no one's going to chase him with the Rolling Thunder. As no one got back, but he has coming in for the jungle. Ramses has the reflection. He gets the Song of the Siren out. And with that, should have time to run away, even with a swashbuckle. I don't think no one would be able to chase him. Yeah, no one knows. He can't go for that. So Arme able to escape just in time. They just couldn't get any sort of further disable in on top of that Naga Siren before the song comes out. Pasha continuing to farm very well, of course, with the Brew, considering the timing he got that Midas at. Pipe's going to be done. He's going for the blink into the Radiance, making sure that he has scaling potential, continuing at all stages of the game.
I like the Pipe a lot. They're building 2 of them. You look at the side of LGD, they're all magic damage. Every single one of them. Naga Siren doesn't become physical for a long, long time.
Solo up top. We'll get caught out again.
He's got a hood.
He has got the hood. Let's let him live a little longer. And Sprouts up Chalice. Chalice able to cut his way out. And Solo will get the Nature's Wrath down. PSG.LGD will be able to finish him off. Down bottom, Roger. He's got eyes on Arme. Does also have Pasha close by.
He's got the Aether Lens too, so he's got that long distance that he
They want to try for this. They have got the Primal Split. If they can get the Disable off, they know that he hasn't got Song of the Siren in it.
Still pretty tanky though. If he's on Strength Charge, it's 1800 JP. They're actually popping the Primal Split immediately.
Yeah, they know that they need every bit of damage. There's the Hex into the stun from the Split. Jump forward, especially with no one. They've certainly got this kill as they'll catch out Arme.
Nice little stalking play there coming in from Roger.
An instant move to try and make something more happen.
Can they sneak into a rush here? They have Serpent Wards. They've got the Metamorphosis as well available.
Without the Song of the Siren threat for 40 seconds, it could be appealing.
Do they have a medallion? Does Solo have it finished? He didn't actually go for it this game. He's got the Blightstone.
They're going to try.
It's a little bit of minus armor, but
they're straight in there. I see PSG.LGD do anything about this. They've got the Dream Core, you've got Radeon on FY.
He's starting to feel like he knows this is up. He's looking at the lanes, they're not reacting to top at all.
FY senses are tingling. Roshan's falling very low and they can't do anything about it. Ramses is able to pick up the Aegis and VP. Very quick-witted play. Getting that kill on the Naga Siren, and you saw it literally as Arme died. Smoke up and a beeline for Roshan.
So, I mean, Shadow Shaman, this is the reason why, in particular, fnatic is first two picking it. It's such a priority for them. He provides you so much. It's strong lanes, disables, gives you Roche, gives you objective taking. The hero really does provide pretty much everything. And
Arme, Manta done. Diffusal's going to be the part where he's going to really be that threat in the fight. So at the moment, of course, he can disrupt a lot with the Song of the Siren. Once that Diffusal's there, he can really start to hit back. Asher, Blink, nearly done. It's going to be pretty huge for him, allowing him to sit back and not be worried, he himself, at least, about being doomed or static stormed before he's able to get a primal split off.
Yep. They still have to be careful, though, of the thing is that there's still a combo. Like, Ame still hasn't been able to show up. They haven't gotten the combo off, but they still do have the potential of it if they get the sleep into this Disruptor, which is super threatening versus the lineup of VP till they get those BKBs. Ame starting to steal Ancients from the opposing side. Oh my god, I just looked at LGD's jungle and saw these wards. Oh my god, look at these sentries.
Look how many sentries.
They don't want to be under any vision of VP, and they kind of expect it. You're playing versus this Nature's Prophet of Solo. He just can just freely put down these wards, like, without him having to walk there. He just TPs and puts them down, so...
I mean, hey, it's working. You know, there's no ops on LGG's half of the map.
It's so weird how it's so funny how they placed it. Look, it's like this perfect line. Is Solo trying to get a ward out. It will be spotted and he will be taken out.
Last wishes it was you instead.
Solo definitely being sort of the sacrifice there a lot of the times, which I guess, you know, this is the life of the support prophet. As long as you're pulling sort of the distraction and making sure that the Terrorblade can continue to farm. Ramsey's back into the top jungle, trying his best to keep on pace with this Arme Naga Siren. But as we say, it's, you know, it's Naga Siren with the Midas. Arme is going to have that edge in the slow-paced gameplay.
Yeah. No one is starting to fall pretty far behind on this Pango. 9,700 net worth. I mean, we're seeing Roger actually catch up to him. This Shadow Shaman, I think, almost has a BKB finished after that Aether Lens. There are ways to stop him if they throw the Doom on him, but he's going to have some pretty nice control if he just BKB grabs somebody.
Yeah, because I mean, do you really want to Doom the Shaman?
Yeah, exactly. He does die relatively fast still if he gets like focus fired by this Naga Siren if they get on top of him.
Because I mean, for the Shaman, once he has the BKB, who is he looking to just BKB and just hold down? Is it the Naga Siren who goes for every fight just to make sure no sort of song can come out from Arme?
I think it just depends on the positioning. It could be the Doom in some situations. It might be the Pugna. I think just one of the cores in particular. But if he can get the puck too, then it can give no one a lot of free reign inside the fights. Then he can actually look to get the Rolling Thunder off and not worry about that coil. So yeah, I think it just depends on the opportunity he sees.
The second pipe done. Solo has is complete. But as we just saw, there's what Arme has that Diffusal Blade. So Manta, Diffusal, Naga Siren ready to go, ready to fight.
Yeah, a bunch of item timings coming together. They've also got the Blink now finished on Puck after that Atos. Blink on Doom with the Shivas.
But there's sort of the biggest BKB. That's Ramsey's having his done. He will be able to react as long as he doesn't get doomed. You know, still have the chance to play against the Static Storm, get the BKB Sunder off.
He's still got like a minute and a half as well on this Aegis for now. And okay, so it's a BKB also being queued up for Ame. Just wanted to not have to deal with this Brewmaster in particular, I'd imagine, as Chalice.
They'll TP in. He's going to jump in onto Ramses, not wanting to compare anything, of course, with the Aegis still being there on the Terrorblade. On the side, the Primal Split will start to control Arme. Ramses moving in as well. We'll see if they can do anything to follow this up. Sun's going to take the life for Chalice. Chalice, he's cutting the Sprout, will be able to cut his way out. At the same time, no one rolling in with the Rolling Thunder. He has the control onto Arme between him and Pasha. They lock down the Naga Siren. That's going to be Arme dead, and as well, X-Nova found as well. Pasha, it's this Primal Split Rolling Thunder combo. If VP get it off without any disruption from PSG.LGD's side, it's an easy team fight.
I think the coil just missed the Rolling Thunder as well. Though he was trying to clip him, I think, on the edge of it and wasn't able to get
it. And now that Serpent was on the high ground. As the tier 3 starting to fall, still good timing with the Metamorphosis left. Ramses can push on. As it'll at least be the tower going down here on the bottom.
Yeah,
if you want to try and poke for any more,
I think you back up. You're versus Disruptor. You take this tower. You take what you can get. If you make an overextension, you just start getting glimpsed back, and you get super punished without your ultis. And like we said, they need these ultis to take the fights. 2K advantage. Great momentum there for VP. That's like you said, this Bruce Blood plus this Pango ulti. If LGD doesn't have tabs of them, and this game it's not like they have the Spectre to keep this vision always constantly when they want to execute the fights. They have to try to find these guys in the back lines, and that's probably on FY to find them in the back, which is quite a tall order to ask for.
And in this sort of pace of game, the Shaman's going to get items. Roger has the BKB in. Now, of course, looking towards the Aghanim's. That'll be his next goal.
And 15 talent, so he's got that extra the cast range. So look at that. Yeah, look at that Hex cast range. It's beautiful. So FY's game, pretty difficult too. Playing Puck versus these instant disables is never very fun.
As you say, because so much of PSG.LGD's damage output is magical, it's like, sure, they can't really stop him from going for a shackle whilst the BKB's up. They also can't really kill him that quick, and if they do, it's going to be obvious the commitment, and VP are going to be able to react, just coming in with the Rolling Thunder as such, and being able to separate any target away from that's going on the Shaman.
Mm-hmm. These type of games are really interesting because of like it's just so much on these initiations. It's just like, oh, if they blink doom this Pango, if they blink doom the Brew, bam, you're gonna see like the disengage come out from VP. On the other side, LGD, if they get jumped on by these two ultis, it doesn't seem like LGD can really take the fights unless they're able to like kite it out. If they're able to kite out the duration of the Primal Spin and Rolling Thunder without losing too much, then they can turn it around. Seeming difficult at the moment though. Ame's BKB, when he does get that, is going to help a lot, because then he doesn't have to worry so much about being isolated by Pasha constantly. And XM, you know, we talked about his Pugna a lot in that first game. This time he's having a bit of a quiet one. He's taken all the buildings, but as for really putting and posing a threat inside the team fights, it's not too much available for him there.
Taking the tier 3s, they can go for sort of the easy pressure and onto the shrines.
They don't even have to commit anything for the shrine. Solo is actually the one just killing the shrine while the rest of his team just farms up.
He can just clean up that extra bit of gold sitting on the map. Top lane, PSG.LGD, they will shove the wave right up to the high ground, but unlikely to want to go for any sort of high ground attempt. But other than that, is still hanging behind. Ame wanting at least that next item done before he tries to commit for the fight again.
Hey, they still have their 3 cores farming so well, like this Naga Siren top net worth, the Doom and the Pugna keeping up too. But like we said, it's really so much on the execution of the team fights and who gets these jumps. They're starting to get these BKBs though on LGD, which is going to make it a lot easier for them to deal with that Primal Split and Rolling Thunder in particular.
So he's 4,200 gold built up after his BKB. Satanic, it's going to be next. At least in the moment of what he's queued up. Yeah, he's bought the Reaver. So starting to get very beefy on this Terra Blade.
Can help him if he does get doomed, right? So if it's the status resist, he gets doomed. It only lasts pretty much like half the duration as usual. Same thing with the majority of the other spells like Coil and whatnot.
Asame, yeah, with the BKB done, it's time to get the right click up.
Yeah.
Butterfly. It's going to be next on the Naga Siren's list.
It's quite a bit of a farm game here. Both teams just pushing out their lanes, their side lanes constantly, and it's LGD having to address these lanes a lot because of Solo. He's been using his ulti pretty liberally. But that will be the next BKB for LGD. Now they're probably looking to take a fight. I think you set up for that next Roche. They already have the wards actually placed very nicely to be able to watch where VP does venture outside the base when that Roche does respawn. So VP could be in some trouble here since they're under pretty much full vision, and bam, immediately that vision is able to spot out a smoke.
The question is if PSG.LGD avoid this or they try and set it for a counterplay. They're grouping up around their own shrine.
They have the BKBs, right? I think they can take this fight.
I think they want to try and indeed get that jump.
They need to wait for Chalices. It's coming out on the courier. Send some illusions into Scout. We have those bounty runes coming up, of course. You see Solo TP's bottom. He's able to claim them the extra 2 bounties.
Looks like nothing will come of the smoke, at least for now. VP, they don't find anyone sort of out on their own. They're going to realize that PSG.LGD knew.
Yeah.
And aren't going to make any sort of crazy move up onto the high ground of PSG.LGD's half of the map.
Now we see that BKB delivered. Have to imagine LGD's making a move. Their lanes are still in an okay spot, but they're, oh man, they're constantly being stalked by these little treants of solo. Yeah, there we go. A double BKB.
Let's see if theirs is a little more successful in finding some action.
It's double BKB, and they have great vision. So they spotted no one coming out here. No one. Has to be careful.
There's the Doom, straight down onto the Pango. Ramses is going to head in, but whoa, he just gets shredded. They get the glimpse back as well onto Ramses. He does have that BKB ready to pop. He'll pop it now with the meta. They're trying his best to turn. The Song of the Siren isn't going to affect him during this BKB as he keeps hitting on to Chalice, but Chalice still is able to get out of there. Arme, he's got to be careful. The Song now ends. They're on top of him. The stun, no one's back in with the Rolling Thunder as he's brought back for this. Arme puts the BKB trying to get away. Shield crash forward from no one. We'll see if they can catch any of these heroes. Another shield crash up to the high ground. He's chasing, but they're back towards the Shrine. PSG.LGD. FO will jump back across to help them. They're now left for the route onto no one. No one's going to be careful. He did buy back for this one. Look at the glimpse of no one.
No one.
He needs help. He needs it now. Get the shield crash off. But the BKB committed by Chalice. But that's no one dead for 90 seconds. Up to the high ground. Chalice. He's got to lock down onto another. Roger getting slammed down by the infernal blade. But Chalice, he wants something bigger. He wants the Terror Blade. They're able to root Ramses. Ramses still punching back pretty hard here with that Metamorphosis. In fact, X-Nova, he's just going to get taken straight down. He's still moving forward for more here. F5 will be able to jump away with the ult. The Metamorphosis now ending. Roger comes in to help Ramses by his side to get the Hex off onto Arme. Jump forward from Pasha. Pasha goes in with a clap. They're looking towards this, but Chalice is back. He cancels the shackles with the Infernal Blade. F5 jumps back across. The silence under the Dream Coil. Onto the three of them. Ramses gets the Sunder off though. Back up to full health. He'll try and chase down XM. They got the reflection off as well, but the Song of the Side is there once again. Chalice, Arme, FY, what's the plan? Arme's getting out of there. They're all just booting it out of there. Making sure that they don't hang around and slip up anything back towards VP.
Whew. What a series of events there. That fight lasted a minute and almost a full brew split duration, or the whole cooldown as well. Been able to get no one twice, though, as he does use that buyback. That was, I mean, great execution there from LGD. You see, the BKBs come out, they get this long-duration shackle from the Shadow Shaman, but this sleep, that disengage, that's what we were talking about. If they're able to survive long enough to deal with that brew split and just kite it out, then they can look to take the fights and turn it around. And yeah, they sustain through it.
But we are certainly sort of seeing the late game potential of the Terror Blade though too as well. That was a point where sort of Ramses was left alone, but he was starting to hit very hard with that meta. If he gets sort of that right click item on top of all these defensive ones that he started with, like the butterfly, you've got to be careful as PSG.LGD. When he moves in, gets the BKB off before the Song of the Siren and has the meta out, he's going to kill any core before the BKB runs out.
I think they got a bit split up there too. I think it was I think they were like expecting to go for that kill on the Terror Blade, and XM actually went for the Shadow Shaman in that fight. So Ramses was able to hold his ground because the Pugna is really the big threat for him still. There's that damage that can come out from the Daggons and whatnot.
Roshan is up. Both teams will want an eye on that.
Everything should be back up, right? Yeah, pretty much everything on everyone. And oh, look at that. Solo has his own Lotus Orb, so being able to protect a little bit versus those silences, maybe even reflect the Doom.
Just keep Terror Blade safe at all costs. They can keep Ramses alive around them. The fight will go well. They've now got that Radiance pick up on Pasha.
That's going to help. I mean, the Naga's damage is going to be really limited from that one too. And even just canceling these blinks can be very useful when he's inside of that Primal Split if he's not actually hitting anybody. Should provide them a decent amount more damage inside the fights.
Still very close, and you see just the fact that Arme and Ramses continuing to be right next to each other when it comes to farm. 20k on both of the cores.
Roche becoming just, it's always pretty much the most important thing, but
we'll see. Arme does win the Butterfly Rush. He's got it first. The Butterfly is still about 1,300 gold away for Ramses. At this rate, though, should... I guess he's got the jungle to clean up. He might not have it before the Roshan fight kicks off.
Yeah. I know they still have the bottom lane to address too, so that's a, always great thing about having this Nature's Prophet is you can buy your team some time to be able to finish up that next item if you do want to. But LGD might, I think they just look to take this fight. You look to fight before that Roche. Do they have any good vision here? They have one ward outside of the pit on just inside that river area there. So they don't actually see anything from VP just yet. Bounty's coming out.
The seeds of fortune.
They did see him for a second there, so now they know where that brew is. They are smoked.
Question is if they can catch anyone out with this. Who are we seeing at the moment near them? Pasha and no one the closest. Already leaving the jungle. They know that it's likely that this sweep is going to be made by PSG.LGD and Pasha, and no one. They'll play it safe, get back towards the rest of their teammates. So no one is going to get caught out by this smoke.
Very limited vision right now for VP. They just have that one ward on the bottom side. All these sentries being bought from LGD. I mean, this map is just riddled with sentries from this Disruptor spending pretty much all of his gold on them. Poor Xnova. But we talked about how important this game is, like who gets the jump, who gets the counter initiation off. So that's why you see this vision being addressed so highly in this game.
Yeah. So sort of the big thing is, VP just getting the BKBs off before the song is there and getting the kills during those BKB usages. Otherwise, after the song, you can certainly expect PSG.LGD to come back in, hitting hard and turning the fight around. Ramses has got his item done. The butterfly is complete. As both teams, well, PSG.LGD more so just trying to find something, find some sort of a pick-off that opens them up for the chance of going for Roshan.
Yeah, they're just trying to control this whole area right now. We have Pasha now with that extra HP on his primal split, so he doesn't have to worry about it dying at all to that Naga. A
little bit of a poke there on Ramses, but you could tell that PSG.LGD, they know that the entire lineup's hiding behind this Terrorblade. There's no way that Ramses is out alone.
Both teams are doing like the exact same thing right now. It's all about this Rosh. The one thing that VP does have, like we said, they can keep these side lanes pushed out. They can either send illusions from Ramses if it can make it there in time, or just solo, just constantly ulting.
FY's got his Aghanims.
It's got it finished already, huh? Okay.
So much control. Outside and during BKB's going to jump in.
Forward.
Gets it onto the two, and then the primal split's going to come out from Pasha. We're going to see Pasha try and chase out, see if he can catch anyone out. He's able to send the pug up into the sky, bring him back down into the Hex. The Shackle BKB from Roger committing. Do they have the damage? No one got the Rolling Thunder off in time. The Song of the Siren isn't going to save FY. He gets the phase shift off. Up to the high ground. No one does get another bounce onto Arme. FY is out of there because of that song. They're sending all backwards. They're retreating. Wards, of course, was dropped for this, but at the same time, Song of the Siren was used, so was the Dream Coil, so both teams trading some ultimates, but not trading any lives. Everybody stays alive.
More costly ultimates for VP. They kept the meta, though. That's the one good thing. Ramses did hold his ground for a bit there. Yeah, this disengage, this Naga Siren. They do it quite beautifully there. Yeah, they're checking for the wards right now. They have a gem picked up on solo. Full refresher now on Doom.
So. Double Doom.
Oh my. Has the mana as well, since he has that Shivas. If he gets the double Doom off in the fights, this is going to be so hard for VP. Again, these initiations, it's going to be so much. Now they have to catch the Doom. But the fights are feeling harder and harder for VP to take as we see the way LGD can just kite out that primal split.
Into the pit they go. Arme's going to start hitting away at Roshan.
They don't kill Rosh that easily. It's just, I mean, he's the only physical damage aspect on their lineup. Puck.
And he gets caught out in the mid lane. They're in. I mean, Roger again. These BKB commitments with the shackles. There's just nothing they can do in response.
There's no buyback either.
He's just dead for a full minute. VP are surely going to want to try and take the fight now, where it's 5 versus 4. Or at the least, just make sure that PSG.LGD don't get the Roshan. As Arme knows, he's already out of the pit. He knows with a number of advantage, VP have a very solid chance of taking the fight. They're going to go.
Yeah, they're about to have primal split, so that's when they're like, okay, now we're really strong when we have this. Ramses might just commit forward into that pit.
Does he want to pop the Meta and go for this?
Doesn't need to pop the Meta. I guess he can save
with the butterfly, yeah. But they do enough as it is. You can save that for the counter play. If any sort of jump comes in, Arme's outside. So the song, solo, will put the Sprout. They're going to use the song here. See if they can get into the pit. If Chalice can get some Dooms down, he's getting Hex. He can't get in.
He's going to get BKB.
Roger! He set him up for... Oh, he's done Roger! This Shaman just stopping any chance of a play to come out from PSG.LGD. Roger's positioning, the amount of times with this reach at the Aether Lens, the cast range, talent. You just can't walk in like that because you are going to get hexed. You are going to get shackled.
He got greedy with the BKB. If he had popped it just a little bit sooner, he's able to get those off. But I didn't expect the Shadow Shaman to have that type of range.
Yeah.
But I think they actually had vision of him there, though, because they had that ward down. So.
They did. Meanwhile, XM, he's got the dagger and scaled up, but still, as you say, his game has definitely slowed down.
Yeah, it's hard for him to really get into the fights. If he walks in, he just gets isolated, and he's very squishy versus this lineup of VP. He has a Glimmer cape at least to save himself, but if he gets hit procced by like a lucky shot inside of the fights, he has to Glimmer and run away for 5 seconds.
I mean, when we see the level 20 on Roger, because of the way he's playing, do you get the extra shackles duration? Do you think?
Yeah, when you have the BKB. Yeah, when you have the BKB.
This is the way he wants to go.
Yep.
I mean, that's so much lockdown.
There's no way for them. I mean, there's a way for them to stop the BKB shackles, but it's not great. It's the Doom. So he should be able to get pretty consistent shackles, so the rest of his team can get slept from the Ahmed Nagasar if they don't have the follow-up.
The glimpse into the static zone. Pasha in trouble. BKB's going to be popped by Chalice and Army. They drop the Doom down as well. There's the second Doom ready to go as well. He's not going to use it on Solo. Solo's just going to be run down by the Nagasar. Chalice is on top of the Terrorblade, stomping him up. He has that Doom to lay down if he wants, but wants to kill him off at least the first without using it. BKB comes out from Ramses. He's going to try and turn, but he doesn't have meta for 50 seconds. So to take the live. He's going to chase down Arme. Jump forward for Roger, but Roger, he's actually the one to get doomed. This Shaman has to try and walk out somehow. They'll turn with the swashbuckle. There's the sleep, the setup from Arme. They'll surround Ramsey. Ramsey heads out of the high ground, reflection out. Once more, Pasha gets the charge for the primal split. They'll move towards Arme. No, he's going to roll with the rolling thunder, but he actually gets sort of caught on the cliff. Ramses will still continue to chase onto Arme. Another stun comes out from Pasha. They're on top of the Nagasar. Arme, he's surely going to die past the mirror image, but he cannot escape. Arme, never 90 seconds back in the river. The Serpent Ward's killing off Chalice. He'll get the stop over Roger. The shackles, the reach, the cash. It's two dead on PSG.LGD. Both claws dead for 70+ seconds without buyback. This is VP's time to take more objectives. His bottom, kill that creep. He can't do so in time. Pashes it with a box. They'll find themselves another Virtus.Pro into the base already. They have the siege creeps in. Ramses is there. They're going to take at least a set of racks, maybe even more. This is a huge window to work with.
That was beautiful there by Pasha, and Ramses, he finds the real Naga with his Sunder, so he's able to drop him down low, and the fight gets real awkward for LGD. They can't actually be able to do enough damage versus this VP lineup.
And he still has that Aegis. They couldn't even kill him the once. We saw, you know, chat, he was saving that second Doom. He didn't want to drop it on the Terrorblade because he had the Aegis, but because he didn't, they weren't able to kill him that once. And now they're losing so much for it. They've lost the ball, and Roger again. The Hex, the Shackles, XM's gone. This Shaman playing out of his mind, Roger. As this mid-Rex, it's going down. The fortification will be popped. They'll have Arme back up in 20 seconds. XM buying back. Jump forwards with the dagger on. They'll try and zap down Roger. They'll get rid of that pesky Shaman. But they may lose heroes for it. FY, he's committed in, has the ult to get back out. They do have to be careful, VP. The full lineup of LGD is going to be back in the game any second. Probably in their best interest to get out of there. No one's going to try, but jump forwards with the static storm. They'll get no one.
FY missed the coil there again. They had to commit forward to get the kill. They do get it anyway, at least.
They've lost so much here, PSG.LGD. 2 sets of racks going down. VP, sure, they lost a couple of casualties at the end of it, but these heroes, they've got buyback, and it's unlikely that's going to get pressured out anyway.
And now they've got, you know, the Brew Primal split was pretty much everything in the fights it seemed to repeat. Rolling Thunder in that last fight didn't really do a whole lot. Now he's got it up every single time. Minus 65-second cooldown on to Pasha here.
And Ramsey sort of walked out of that whole situation with like 9k gold. He just buys a straight up Scotty. As I say, he still has that Aegis. They can still get more done with this.
I mean, that was the hardest swing I've seen in quite a bit. Just that last situation that happened. They weren't able to clean up like anybody. Now so much momentum for VP. And yeah, I can't believe they didn't even have to lose the Aegis.
This is looking to be in a fantastic position now for VP.
They're just doing good at like splitting up. They're never. I'm not seeing them get caught by all these like combo plays. Sure, they got 3-man slept standing on top of each other there, but there was no follow-up. LGD, they'd already used all of their spells initially. They're just waiting for the Pango to respawn. They're definitely feeling quite strong here in this one now, as they're about to have an AC finished up as well now too.
And what have we got in Army? I mean, has Army got any sort of crazy items coming out?
And he's just got the he's just hard BKB Diffusal Manta. Just the I mean, your standard. Maybe the BKB is not the standard, but your standard Naga Siren carry build.
I mean, it just seems at the moment it's just not enough. Even though he's on the same farm as Ramsey's Terrorblade, you just feel much more of an impact from the sort of speed that Ramses gets the damage out and the distance that he can do it from as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Chalice pretty much in this game just to get these dooms off. I mean, on Pasha in particular, just such a problem. And with the skill build and the item build from the item build in particular from Roger, he's just such a nuisance in the fights. He's just constantly getting these long duration shackles, getting this lockdown on crucial heroes.
I mean, is there anything really that Arme can swap out? Is the best play to just get the Moon Shard? Is there anything else he could be considering? Or does he?
I was thinking if he wanted something like an Abyssal or some type of lockdown, or maybe even like that Nullifier to prevent something. But I think this is like your cookie cutter Naga build, your standard that you want to have. It's just really about the execution inside of the fights. Can they get the right targets? Can they find Pasha before he gets split off?
Ramses, he's got that level 25 now on the Terrorblade.
Which one did he actually?
Which did he take? He went with the left one?
He went the meadow range.
Yeah.
So you were mentioning him. He wants to be distancing himself out of the fight. That's going to help even more so. Araname.
Pushing forward on this top lane. Ramses, just get a reflection off. PSG.LGD, they have their lineup on the high ground, ready to jump. Still now with the state of the ages, of course, has gone. Look at the jump forward, but instantly the Hex is there straight away. The wards are down, they do get the 2 out of the Terrorblade. Ramses is just turning and punching into Arme. Arme sinks the Song of the Siren, but he's taking so much damage from this Terrorblade. The BKB of Ramses will wear off, so he'll be held in place for now, but now the chase is on. No one heading over the Rolling Thunder, held back by FY's Dream Coil. Phase shift to dodge the stun out from Pasha. It's going to be up in the air. Can they control him on the way down? Static Storm's going to be there with the Hex again. Roger looking down FY. FY has to buy back. They'll move it on the side as well. The Shackles holding down X-Nova's Disruptor. No one can finish off this kill onto X-Nova. He surely can. Back towards the mid. Ramses, Sunder, back up to half health. Ramses still okay for now. He'll turn towards Chalice. Chalice has been decrepified. Chalice now surrounded by the Sprout. He's dead too. 2 dead on PSG.LGD. No one and Roger went down. They'll buy back for this. There'll also be a buyback from Chalice wanting to keep this fight going. Using the boosted travel. No one gets himself back over to PSG.LGD's half of the map. They know there's no Song. They know there's no BKB. Arme has to be careful. As they'll retreat solo, trying to see if he can catch someone. TPing in, looking for Sprout opportunities. Lays it down at the low ground, won't catch anyone out, but now VP, they can push in. They've got this Metamorphosis, BKB and Satanic back up in a couple of seconds for Ramses.
They don't have their Dooms. That was both Dooms used on Ramses, and they weren't able to kill him. No one was able to actually get on top of him. So couldn't get there in time.
Chalice is trying to move him with the BKB, but this damage output from Ramses' Terrorblade is too much. Arme is going to step forward, the BKB for himself back up, but that's XM dead, Chalice dead, VP absolutely doing it here. The Shackles again, Roger locks down FY, the top racks are gone, as GG is called. VP take the game and take the series 2-1. They will be the ones to knock PSG.LGD out of the competition.
Pasha and Roger put hearts out this game. Finding the catches, they seem to always get their ultis up. Like, did Pasha get doomed? I feel like he rarely, I think maybe once.